Humbling, humiliating, embarrassing, shambolic, absolutely oblivious and unaware defeat to Chelsea today. I gotta say, I think this one may top the United loss for me. The United loss was a pretty bad one, but this one might top it. We were absolutely shown what caliber we are not in order to compete. And now I'm not going to sit here and say I'm surprised we lost, but I sit here saying that I am annoyed as to how we lost. And I'm annoyed that this manager is still at this job. But before we go ahead and continue this discussion, I'm accompanied here by the lovely panel of Ahmed, the Bridge 258, as well as Oliver. I am your host, Marshalldbdx. Ladies and gents, we're going to be discussing Chelsea versus Liverpool, Liverpool versus Chelsea in this instance. We lost 4-1 to Liverpool at Anfield. It was quite embarrassing. But before we dissect this game, before we get into it, before we, really get the emotions going, smash up the like buttons if you haven't done so already. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. It does help out the channel tremendously. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers, but let's try to hit 2.5 first. So let's get to 2,500 subscribers. We're getting close, so be sure to continue subscribing if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we go live. Check out the links in the description below and leave a comment and let us know your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on everything, really. And consider joining the membership. We have 4 different tiers starting at 99p. All good stuff. But in typical fashion, typical Casually FC fashion, I'm going to go ahead and just do the summary of the game. Starting off at the first half, we had my predicted lineup for the most part, except for Gusto being on the bench and Badiashile playing. So we had the Sassi at right back, Enzo Caicedo pivot, Gallagher in the 10, and then false 9 with Palmer, with Sterling on the left and Madueke on the right. I can't complain too much about the lineup. However, the way we performed was absolutely shit. And most of us probably thought that we would turn up against a Liverpool team. We have turned up against most bigger opposition, but today was just not the case, whether it be the players, whether it be the tactics and the manager, or both. But to start that first half, 23 minutes into the game, Diogo Jota gets in there and scores a goal, leading his team ahead. I should also mention that this was a Liverpool without Trent Alexander-Arnold, Trent was on the bench, but he did not start. Without a Mo Salah. This is a Liverpool team that did not have Thiago Alcantara. Did not start with Robertson.
Forgot Thiago existed, to be honest.
Right? Yeah, he's still at that team. Quite a few players absent, and we still managed to capitulate the way we did. 23rd minute, Diogo Jota scoring a goal to take the lead. And then youngster Connor Bradley for Liverpool ends up scoring a goal to make it 2-0. Mind you, even before these goals, there was plenty of opportunities for Liverpool to score. But thanks to Petrovic, we were able to keep it as close as possible. And then the real nail to the coffin was the Dominic Szoboszlai goal that came in the 65th minute. Poch made some subs at halftime, taking off 3 players, putting on 3 himself. Took off Gallagher, Chilwell, and took off who am I missing? Madueke, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So took off 3 players, subbed on 3 of his own, and didn't really make a difference at all either. Dominic Szoboszlai comes in the 65th minute, scores his goal, and we finally get to see Nkunku come on. He came on for 45 minutes, actually, so he was one of those substitutions at the halftime. And playing as a striker, he scores in the 71st minute thanks to a Carney run and good finishing on his half. But, of course, that wasn't enough for Liverpool. Liverpool came in, finished the job, 79th minute, Luis Diaz, and the game finishes 4-1 to Liverpool at Anfield. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I don't care what anyone has to say about the players. The manager is the one that chooses the lineup. The manager is the one that sets them up tactically. I would argue that the manager should know that Liverpool are going to play the way they play, done their research, and know that you need to set yourself up in a way that gives yourself the best amount of chances, the best amount of opportunities to score. And we did not do that. We barely even attacked them, to be honest. This was not like the game last season or even the game earlier this season where there was plethora of chances for Chelsea to finish Liverpool off, but we couldn't finish our chances. This game was quite the opposite. We were absolutely humiliated, humbled, put in our place, and you know, I struggle to even really give a proper analysis on this game. I struggle to really discuss it because I'm just so disgusted by what I saw. So, I mean, Oliver, I'm going to start off with you, my friend. Let me know your thoughts on the game, and you know, where's your mental state at with all this? I guess where do you stand with all this?
Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way first because it's going to be a big talking point tonight, both on social media. I'm assuming in the chat as well. That refereeing performance was nothing short of embarrassing.
Oh, but, yeah, of course.
But let's be honest, guys. You know, as much as that was embarrassing, we can still be accountable for our own performances. There are still things we can do within the game to at least do better than whatever the hell that was. And let's be honest as well. You know, listen, Klopp's leaving Liverpool, man. This is the narrative now. You know, the title was a wrap for me personally. They're going to win the title now. They just got the whole narrative on their side. You see games like tonight where decisions didn't go our way. That's going to happen to multiple teams. So, like, get over it. At the end of the day, we've had decisions go our way and go against us. So, like, whatever, man. All we can do is affect our own performance. And what we did was not good enough from any particular level. I mean, the midfield, Caicedo constantly isolated yet again. Enzo making second striker runs, being nowhere near the build-up when you remember the man of the match performance he had in the opening day against Liverpool. His best aspect was getting involved, and he was nowhere near involved. Ben Chilwell with arguably one of the worst fullback performances I've ever seen in my entire life. It was reminiscent of Marcus Alonso under Maurizio Sarri, like in the City 6-0, for example. You know, it was a disgusting performance as a captain, as a player. Glad he got subbed off at half time, but at the end of the day, looking elsewhere, the experienced players, Silva, Sterling, Chilwell again, none of them stood up and took any responsibility for the other young players. You know, people want to always say, "Oh, it's about experience. That's the problem." But when our experienced guys aren't stepping up, then at the end of the day, it gives our young players license to make mistakes because there's no standard. And yeah, the attack was non-existent until Nkunku came on. But yeah, like the setup was just horrible. It was really, really bad, particularly in that midfield. Gallagher as well, poor. I thought his thing was supposed to be, he has good games against the big teams. Well, clearly not today. And as a matter of fact, if he had a better first touch, we'd probably be 1-0 up before any of the shenanigans, you know. So we did learn a few things from today, though. You know, particularly Carney Chukwuemeka needs to be back in this team. I don't think Poch is going to do it, though, and that's where I'm at right now. I've lost all hope, to be honest. I never had any hope in the first place. I've been Poch out, but I never changed. I was always cautiously optimistic about this one because at the end of the day, the teams we faced in the last 2 months are teams we should be beating, and we did beat them, and that's fair enough. But it doesn't deserve any kind of party or, you know, an overly big celebration. Have cautious optimism. like I did, and you're not surprised at the end of the day from what you see today, because there were problems in those wins despite the wins. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's me.
I mean, there are a few. Actually, first things first, Ahmed, you should let Pochettino borrow that book because he could use some tactics, and I'm sure there's more in that Blue Lock manga than there is in anything that Poch has been doing this season. So yes, ship that off to across the street and give him some help because he could use it. But I mean, to start off this, I guess in a better way, to try to be more optimistic about this, even though there's really very little to be optimistic about. I guess, Ahmed, I'll go to you and you can tell me, are there any positives to really take out of this match at all, if any?
That's how much positive there is about this game. He's reading a book. Loads of positivity. He's on mute.
Oh, yeah. The positive. This is okay.
Listen,
there you go.
My apologies. Obviously, it's reading a book, about some real hoops. You know what I mean? Something to get my day, going some real football. Reading some real football right there. Listen, man. Positives, obviously, maybe in Kuku's goal. Good goal from him. Chukwemeka, obviously.
Sure. I'll DM you right now, Steve.
Petrovic also. Those three, of course, in general. I think that's pretty much the positives, really. Anything else you want me to talk about?
Wait.
I mean, anything else you can think of that's positive?
That's
Petrovic, and what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Petrovic, obviously.
Carney and Kunku, right?
Of course, really Gusto had a pretty good performance, obviously, when he came on as well. But really, that's about it, really, to say the very least.
Yeah. Not much to really take away. I mean, what are your takeaways from the match?
I don't know what to keep on saying because, I tried to be positive this time, I know he's not getting set to the end of the season, so I thought, let's remain positive, let's see what happens. But the problem with the issue is I'll actually answer Vic's comment first about the squad is not good enough. I think the problem is the vast majority of the squad is good enough. The players that aren't good enough, I feel like you can put onto you can put onto one hand how many are not that good for this football club, in my opinion. And we all know who they are. I don't need to keep on repeating the same players again and again who we do not believe are good enough. But the vast majority of these players are good enough. So, I don't know what we're trying to do here. The problem for us here is that, and I've said this before, the squad has been heavily reliant when it comes to scoring goals on individual brilliance. Now, let's not get it twisted. Individual brilliance, of course, is going to be needed at times to score goals. But when there's no individual brilliance, you must have some level of tactics to be able to create goals with. And the problem with Chelsea right now that does not exist. That's just the reality situation. And today, we decided to play Gallagher. I don't know if it was 9 or 10, whatever it was. But in a game where he's not press resistant, he doesn't have that, what's the word? Spatial awareness.
Okay.
Spatial, he doesn't have spatial awareness and doesn't have the touch. It doesn't have a first touch or where you can do one touch or two touch to be able to shift the ball or turn even, because we know he can't really turn to on his outside. He's not going to help you. Again, Chilwell. Chilwell, he's going to bomb up very fast, very forward. But in his current state, he can't. He's not able to return back to where he is. With the speed that he used to because of his injuries.
Yeah.
Right. We know that already. So surely as the manager, you should know that and you take into account where this player's weaknesses and you adjust accordingly. That did not happen in the first half. He decided to still continue with his style of play, knowing that those situations can take place. You saw what Liverpool were doing. They were crushing us with that press. And then the problem was once he got to our midfielders didn't have any guys that were in front of them that were making runs or doing anything like that. And then the only options they had was either to pass back or sideways or hoop ball. And, it's so easy, I think, these days that we just blame young players. It's just the young players' fault. It's because we've got too many young players that the Chelsea's failing.
The old players ain't good either.
The problem is
that was last season.
My point exactly.
The problem is it's not the young players that are doing the mistakes that are leading to the goals.
It's the older ones. Yeah,
it's the older ones. Chilwell, we saw obviously for the first goal, the second goal. If I'm not second goal,
Bit of Silva, bit of Badiashile.
Can I also add to that old and young? Like, when Sterling should have released it to Nkuku, where Nkuku made that great run.
We're getting
Yeah,
to him, Chris. We're getting to him.
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll get them.
Yeah, but like the reality of the situation when it comes to a lot of these guys, it's the older players, and like look at Sterling, boys. I told people I would win the war. You know what I mean? I was losing battles. But wallahi, yeah. I told you I was gonna win the war, and this is the thing with Sterling, bro. He's just consistent and inconsistent. That's the issue. It's not even that he's bad. He's just so inconsistent. I don't know what I'm getting. What Sterling am I getting? But today we didn't get the Sterling we needed to be able to help us against Liverpool. That's just the reality of the situation we had. Thiago Silva, bro, respectfully, love and guidance, man. I've said that all season, but I'm gonna repeat it again. It's time to move on, bro. If you want to be, in a executive role, maybe player, manager, and stuff like that, we can help you with that. But it's time to move on, bro. Like Badiashile today, disaster class.
Oh yeah.
Disasi had a lesser disaster class too. Let's be honest about that too.
He's probably the best out of the back four today who started. That's about it.
That's why I said lesser disaster class.
I'd say Gusto was the best.
No. Who started?
Yeah. But marginally though, Chris.
Yeah. That's why he's a lesser disaster class. That's what I call him. Lesser disaster class. You know what I mean?
It was that first goal where we conceded to Jota, like where Jota cut through Thiago Silva and Disasi like hot knife through butter. Like I was thinking, how you let that happen? Like how you both let them squeeze in.
The other thing for me, like the decline of Badiashile under Poch has to be studied, bro. Because this guy was not like this. Now it's almost 1 year ago, actually.
He's been there for a year, yeah.
Under Lampard, he wasn't like this.
Even under Lampard, he was not like this.
Yeah.
So you have to question what is going on with him and Pochettino. Is it almost a similar situation where maybe he's just him and the manager are not vibing? Is he not? Is he in like a downturn of form? What's going on? Because
he's a bad coach. That's why he's coaching his players.
I know, I understand that, but even him for example was quite bad. You also Levi Cole, by the way, same position. He also been going through something.
He's regressed too.
Yeah, where he's regressed too, and Palmer today looked like he was regressing too. Does not look like the same Palmer I'm seeing. Madueke today, him and Madueke. I don't know why him and Madueke play together. They shouldn't be playing together. That's just my personal opinion. Two left-footed, they occupy the same area. And they're getting mixed up with the ball with each other.
So you think so you're saying Madueke should be benched for Cole Palmer then basically?
No, I'm just saying whenever Palmer plays, you can't play with Madueke because
but Palmer's the main star for Chelsea
because the problem, because the problem is, bro, is that they occupy the same area, so it doesn't.
I know. Yeah, I saw that today as well.
So. Just going back to Vic's comment, right? And I do want to get big up, Steve, by the way. Long time no see. Hopefully you've been well, my friend. You've probably been better than us, but actually, to be fair, Newcastle haven't been that great for me either.
Newcastle
Yesterday was awesome. We'd fucking
yesterday was.
You won at least.
But lately it hasn't been too.
They showed us how we should be winning at Villa Park,
But I will ask you from an outside point of view looking in. And before you go, actually, I want to give my 2 cents on what Vic is saying. Listen, Vic, if we were discussing a team full of 10 Mudriks on the pitch, then I would agree with you. The problem is that I know Enzo is good. We've seen Enzo play amazing games. We've seen what this guy's capable of. We know what Caicedo's capable of. We've seen it at Brighton. We know what Levi Colwill is capable of. We've seen him at Brighton last season. We know what Badiashile is capable of. We've seen him at Chelsea last season, even under Lampard, which you just discussed. Madueke has been sensational so far this season, but today was not a good game. Cole Palmer, we know, is a fantastic player. So, who are we talking about when we're discussing these young players that, are to blame or the recruitment? It just seems to me that the recruitment has done a good job of getting us good talent, but it's the in my opinion, it's the lack implementation, and it's also the lack of an implementation of a system, an implementation of a tactic, an implementation of being versatile enough to say, hey, this is exactly what happened at United, in my opinion. It's that same thing, like, okay, I'm going to do this tactic. It's not working. I'm going to keep persisting. You went into that first half, Poch. You saw it wasn't working. You did do well. You did what you should have probably started off with. So someone did say, like, I was going to give credit to Poch for this, but someone, made me think, like, I shouldn't give credit to Poch for fixing what he fucked up anyways, which is starting Gallagher, having Chill on that left back, and then what we saw with who else came off? I'm sorry, who came off in halftime? I just had it a second ago. Madueke. Yes.
Yeah,
so it's like, okay. But still, he persisted with the same type of tactic, same type of formation that wasn't helping him. So before I digress into a totally different tangent, which is going to happen in this stream, there's so much to talk about. Steve, I guess from your opinion, from the outside looking in, do you really agree with what Vic is saying here? Or what's your opinion as to what is going on and what is wrong with freaking Chelsea?
Well, I don't rate Poch.
That's such a loaded question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't rate Poch. Right, I watch a lot of Liga, and I watch PSG pretty much every one of their games for the past probably 6 years. Poch was the worst manager I saw at PSG, domestically and in Europe, and also in the cup competitions. He's awful, bro. Ever since that Champions League final, the dude has genuinely not coached football the same. I don't think he looks at football the same. I just don't think he's the same guy. I think that broke him. I think that changed him. He's not that guy anymore. What games has he coached since that Champions League final that makes you think, wow, this guy can coach a team consistently? Never mind just a one-off. We can all name one game where a manager gets it right. When's he run a good 5-10 games together of well-coached performances? You can't really, even with PSG. Like, it's crazy, bro. So I don't rate him. I didn't really like that appointment.
Okay.
But I could understand it a little bit because of the youth thing. I think you overpaid for some of your players. I don't think they're bad players, but I do think maybe you overpaid for them a little bit, but who really cares? To get a good player in, you do have to pay a lot of money. You guys got to get rid of Thiago or move him on, however you want to do it. I don't think, he's not at the level anymore. Petrovic, good, no complaints there. That is the positive.
Another one that bad recruitment according to Vic, but yeah, go on.
Right. So actually he's worked out just fine. He should be starting. That'll be a real interesting one to see if Pochettino gets Sanchez right back in. That would be crazy if he did that.
Yeah.
If he put Sanchez over Petrovic, because he don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. Sanchez to go straight back in. So, look, you guys just got a lot going on. I feel like there's stories and news and that's what it is with the big club. You always got stuff going on, but I just feel like everything's just so damn hectic and not everybody's on the same page. Not everybody's on the same. That's what it looks like. But yeah, and then you've always got a fucking player. You've always got a player in your squad that is so divisive with your fan base. It's crazy, bro. Like with Gallagher. And I feel like there's just a lot of players, bro. Like people rate Mudryk, some people. I think that crowd is dwindling day by day, game by game. It's wild, bro. But I just thought I missed the first half. I woke up a bit late since I worked night shift, obviously. But I woke up, watched the second half. Was it as bad as was the first half as bad as the second half, or was it
worse?
It was worse. No, the second half was bad.
It was worse. It was a lot worse.
Wow.
They were both as bad as each other. Like, they were both terrible.
We did nothing in the second half, though. Like, we
Yeah,
didn't.
lay on it.
I only say the second half was better because we scored. That's it.
No, but
Yeah.
we was actually trying to do something in the second half at least, but we conceded a lot.
And I think you guys should have had 2 penalties given to you, but welcome to the Premier League. They're always fucking around with decisions. So, look, so that is tough. That is tough. But even so, even if you guys got given the penalties, you still got to score them. And Palmer probably would have, to be honest, because he is a very good penalty taker. But even so, I just think Liverpool would just, streets ahead. Bradley was, I heard in the first half he was like lights out, scored a goal.
That is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I thought Konate had a good game for them today from that second half. I thought the midfield three, they know what they're doing. That's a team where everyone's on the same page. And I don't think you could say the same about Chelsea. That's fact. That's facts, Latimus Prime. He wasn't even brought up. It was the Lons manager, Frank Heis. Frank Heis was manager of the year, I believe. So.
It's literally night and day, man. You've got those guys, those three in the midfield, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Jones, look like a cohesive unit. We had Caicedo sitting on his own, looking around like, where am I passing to?
That's probably a big difference. Klopp's system over Poch's system of a midfield,
And I'll say it again. You put those, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Jones in our team, and they will look just as bad as our current guys do. And if you put our guys in that team, they look like the world beaters.
There is not a single player. There's not a single person on planet Earth that can tell me that Enzo and Caicedo on ability don't start ahead of Jones and McAllister in their team, or Jones and Szoboszlai and McAllister plays slightly higher up. And
remember, this is McAllister as a 10 playing pivot.
You can't then tell me if they played in that team they wouldn't look miles better.
It's a new midfield too, as well.
Where we are, I'm sorry to people that don't agree with this. Actually, I'm not. I don't give a fuck. Where we are right now, and the reason we lost this game is because Poch. Sorry. Sorry if that upsets you.
No, it's poor coaching again.
Scott, there's lack of experience.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. No, fuck this experience shit. Fuck all this nonsense. Fuck all the positive. Fuck the false positivity bullshit. No, we sucked. We were dog shit. We
Bradley is how old?
We don't press with any, he's 20. We don't press with any sort of intensity. There's no actual system to the way we press. We've got some people pressing this way, some people pressing that way. At times we weren't pressing. We played a high line today. I thought we couldn't do that because we had Silva in the team. Apparently we can, even though Silva got dog-eared by Nunez for 90 minutes. Cool. We played a midfield single pivot, despite the fact we've been trying to play a double pivot the whole time. We're now playing a single pivot where Caicedo plays 4v1 the whole game. We've got Enzo, who likes to play with the ball at his feet, playing like Scott McTominay. We've got our centre-backs our full-backs inverting, so that the wingers have got no support and they're playing 2v1. Our number 10 can't hold the ball up, can't pass, can't beat a man on the dribble, can't score, can't assist. Is fucking useless. Our number 10 actually good, was playing up front as a false 9 where he barely touched the ball to the point where he had to pick the ball up from the centre-backs at one point. That was our striker today, picked the ball up from our centre-backs at one point. So then Liverpool could just step up about 6 feet because there's no one up front. Our only left-back in the whole fucking team.
What the fuck?
What was that echo?
Our only fucking left-back in the entire squad played today and played like shit. Was the worst player on the pitch.
Beans over
Was the worst player on the pitch.
Sure, needs to go for that performance. If not before, man, he is awful.
Oh, it's not on Poch, is it? We've got a left-back that's cooking in the Bundesliga right now. Is getting assists.
And
his defending actually okay. People said he couldn't defend.
People don't know what they're talking about.
This team cannot press, and the guy that's meant to be good at pressing didn't press today.
Yeah. I'll be honest, even in my lineup prediction, I put in Gallagher thinking like, okay, high line, press and all that, but it just wasn't there.
You can't play him against a good team, bro. Sorry.
No, you can't play him full stop.
The thing is that like you
can't play him.
You've got to clock it. You've got to clock it with Gallagher. Hang on a second.
Well, I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him full stop. I don't rate him. I wouldn't pay £20 million for him. I don't.
Hey, listen, you've got to clock it with Gallagher because everyone remembers. Oh, he had a good game in the game at Stamford Bridge with Liverpool.
And City.
Remember they were playing a 4-2
game.
Just remember, Gallagher. Liverpool in that game at Stamford Bridge played a 4-2-4. Their midfield was McAllister and Szoboszlai. There's no balance there. Of course, he was going to play well.
Because he had the whole midfield. He's coming against two midfielders.
But I do want to point out that ever since that Man City game, the all this bigging up of Gallagher and our best midfield's been quieter and quieter and quieter.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
I will
No,
say
it's
everyone's
everyone's saying, "Oh, Gallagher's our best midfield." I haven't heard that in a while now, and it's because people are starting to realize.
you hear it from
how
rivals that don't
egotistical-
watch our game.
You know what, Scott?
You
Speak
do.
on Carney,
Like
please.
5
Speak on
minutes.
Carney.
I like
He did more in
Chukwuemeka.
5 minutes than Gallagher did in 45.
Yeah. Yeah, because he could drive with the ball. He's got a good first touch. He's physical. Has an eye for a pass, eye for a goal. Like, he has so much more in his locker. That's a player I like. I would like to see.
That's the thing. He's got vision, man. Like, did you guys see? You guys see when Sterling was wide open on the left and Gallagher fell over? Like, what are you doing, man?
He's clumsy, bro. He is a try-hard. He is a Russell Westbrook without the talent.
But hey, pure talent over pure
Gallagher.
profit. That's what they want to run on the banner. You know?
Like, that's crazy, bro. And that just shows not even like a League 2 team would do that, bro. For one of their local players, fucking Crawley Town wouldn't be doing that. That was funny. That was really funny. I can't lie. Pure profit.
I'm going to dismiss Caicedo, who actually had a decent game with what he was given.
No, I can't lie. Caicedo was bad today, but like again, he was in the midfield by himself 4v1 every single
That's what
time.
I mean, Scott. It's like it's the context of what he had to deal with. I thought he did okay.
But that's why, like, okay, so
poor
for those of
coaching.
you, for those of you who aren't aware, I mean, we do have a Discord, but there was a big argument that came out on Discord, right? And the thing is, you know, as much as we get frustrated that the players keep losing the ball, that, yes, you could say that's the players being shit, bad decision making. Sometimes it was bad decision making. Sometimes it was Palmer holding the ball for way too long than he needed to. Sometimes it is Sterling making the dribble when he should be making a pass. You know, sometimes it does come down to bad decision, but that wasn't the whole entire game. A lot of that game was Liverpool constantly 4v1. How can you expect our players to not lose the ball when they're tactically set up in a way, in a shape that there's no support for them to get out of a 4v1 situation? That's on Poch. That is on Poch. You could say it's the players all you want, but at the end of the day, it's tactics.
I've seen Caicedo play in a possession-based system. I've seen him play in a midfield with Pascal Gross, and it worked. Not a single person on planet Earth can tell me Pascal Gross starts in Chelsea's midfield. And I've seen Caicedo play in a midfield that worked with Pascal Gross, where he played possession.
I have seen Caicedo in those situations that he was in Liverpool today and do just fine, because he was set up in a system where even if he was in the middle of four players, he could progress the ball forward. He had an option going forward. He had a system that could work, that could give him that option, that could give him that passage of play. There isn't that at Chelsea right now. There isn't that with Pochettino. With Pochettino, it's literally feels like Frank Lampard tactics on steroids. It literally feels like, express yourself.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, actually, it's like that because, like, defensively is no difference really. Like, defensively, we're pretty much the same level of Lampard's tactics or whatever it is. And I'm just imagining if Caicedo is actually in Liverpool's midfield. If they didn't have Curtis Jones and Caicedo, McAllister a little bit further up, and what's the other midfielder's name? Shabais or whatever. Yeah, like that midfield would be actually unreal. Like, that'd be like the missing piece they actually needed, but they obviously didn't get him. But yeah, like it's like what Poch has done. Like, no players in the right movement or the space or like the pass, so Caicedo can't pass it to anywhere. I think he only created one actually good chance, but I forgot like who he created to actually that point. But yeah, like it's our midfield's just completely overrun by that.
It's not just this game as well. We got dominated at United by McTominay and Amrabat.
Oh, when you guys came to our place, it was same thing. Midfield.
That young
also,
kid.
The goal we conceded today, the first one, the Jota one, we conceded a similar kind of goal to City in the 4-4.
And Newcastle, right?
The Rodri goal and the Jota goal, although slightly different with how they scored, comes from the same place. It comes from our left back pushing up. So Caicedo has to go over across to cover, and because he's the only midfielder by himself, there's a huge space in the middle that a player can attack. Whether it be Rodri scoring a goal from the outside of the box, or Jota, getting some nice touches. Silva decided he's going to help him on his way because he was useless today. Waste of space, like he was just terrible today. Decided he was just going to pass the ball off his legs and give him an assist.
Boy.
Yeah, you could say that again. Boy, oh boy, this team is in such trouble. Like, I knew going into this match that it was going to be extremely challenging, because I'm not deluded. I'm well aware that the run that we just went through, where we had a decent patch of form, it was supposed to be a decent patch of form because there were most of them were games that we were supposed to win. There was a hiccup at Middlesbrough, which should not have happened. Other than that, like, those are games we were supposed to win. And I knew going into this is like, okay, we're either going to get Chelsea from earlier in the season, that they put up a performance against these top sides and show up, or this. And you know what? I probably should have, now that I look at it in hindsight, seeing how our form was going into this, we weren't winning convincingly. So I shouldn't be surprised that we actually lost like this.
I knew before the game and after the first 13 minutes where they're just taking shots for fun, I knew it was over. Like, it was. I think I even tweeted saying the game's
exactly
over.
JP. Yeah.
The only real threat we had was when we had our counter shots. What?
So I expected us to lose. It's the way we lost.
Yeah, it's always the way we lose.
I can take a loss if it's a tight game and you just lose from like some stupidness. Like it happens, right?
Yeah.
We got nowhere near Liverpool. At no point in this game, I don't give a shit about I care about the penalty calls that were wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't care. We did not lose that game because those penalty calls. We got nowhere near them.
That's what I was saying. Like, we didn't do anything but those penalty shouts. Yeah, I thought those two was actually penalties, but like we barely created any chances. Where Carney created a good chance, obviously, to Nkunku, and we did create that one. We did create that other good chance for Mudryk, where Augusto did that brilliant ball.
Oh my god, that guy, man, that guy.
I reminded bad pains,
I mean, real quick before we continue, I do want to read this because we are talking about the penalties, right?
Yeah.
Pochettino had some comments from Mauricio Pochettino on not getting any pens. It's not a final excuse. They deserve to win. They were better than us. But to talk about this, I don't want to talk about that because it's part of football. They were better than us for the first action. In this kind of game, you need to say, well done, Liverpool. I mean,
he's right, but what did you do about it, Poch?
Yeah, you kind of just handed him the game, didn't you?
I will say he did one thing that's probably surprised me. He's making 3 changes at halftime. That's the only thing I thought. Okay, he's actually trying to do something, but
I'll tell you what was told to me on Discord is you're gonna congratulate him for fixing his fuck ups from the beginning.
No, but like he saw obviously Gallagher wouldn't do nothing, like with his press or nothing, so he's useless. So we changed up with Nkunku. And then Chilwell was obviously having an awful game, so we changed him out as well for Gusto. And Gusto massively changed it as well from fullback. You can see a massive difference when he came on. But I think that's the only kind of praise I gave him. He actually made 3 changes at halftime, and what was kind of needed. But yeah, that's the only thing you can really take.
God damn it, Vic. God damn it. If this comment is real.
I get it. I don't give a shit about Poch. So he can go what I care.
This comment right here. In the second half at 2-0, there was a big chance for Mudryk. If he scored that, maybe start to build our confidence and we would play better. What is this supposed to do to improve the player's confidence? The player whose confidence is definitely on the floor right now.
Thing is, he's coached this guy for 6 months. He knows he's not good enough. So what are you actually expecting from the guy?
Yeah.
We've seen him do this countless times, and his technique is awful with everything he does. So
I knew when Mudryk came on, he wasn't going to do shit. Like I immediately knew.
Oh, the way he was moving, man, like he had acres of space. I can't remember who had the ball on the counter, and Mudryk tucks inside. Exactly Scott. Yeah, he moved inside. What the hell? There's that all there, all that.
I said it on Lewis' stream. I think it was it Sterling or Nkunku? No, it wasn't Nkunku. I can't remember who it was. Might have been Carney. They were running with the ball, and he runs inside. There's space on the left wing, and he runs inside to try and take the space. I think Nkunku was.
Yeah, where Nkunku was. Yeah, I think that was made no sense. So we all saw that.
I think that was Sterling. Yeah, but
no, he ran into.
It was Mudryk that was making the run inside. I don't know if it was Sterling that had the ball.
Okay. No, he ran into Nkunku. He ran into Nkunku's space, where it made absolutely no sense. That's what, as a winger, I don't know why he's trying not to stay wide and actually get in that space, And he's got
I just think it's a lack of coaching, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
There are too many mistakes that keep happening for it to just be like constant mistakes, if that makes sense. It's not like it's a range of different mistakes and it's he'll make a bunch of different mistakes as he's young. No, it's the same mistake happening. It's the same issue happening all the time. Like, it's the same reason I talk about with some of these players in terms like Badiashile. You cannot tell me that this is Badiashile as a player. You can't tell me that he can just go from how he was last season to this, and it's just because this is his level. You can't tell me that he has that much of a drop off.
Right.
And
I remember when he played against Liverpool last season at Stamford Bridge. He was imperious.
Yeah.
And how the tides have turned, you know.
Even under Lampard, who's notoriously a defensively terrible manager, can't set up defense.
Yeah.
He was still quality. Like, you could argue, like, Silva was the best player last season. You could argue he was a very close second. Like, if he'd have been there the whole season, he'd have probably been up for that, for like player of the season.
Oh, for sure.
With how good he played. And now he's
Bro,
this.
I would take him. I would take Badiashile at Newcastle because I would have faith that Eddie Howe would be able to get a very good player.
You were linked with him before you got Botman.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, look, yeah, it's you don't know what he's doing, Poch, and he didn't know what he was doing with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar.
He was playing Verratti at the 10.
Yeah.
But he made Messi look like Neil Maupay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You would play Messi as a CDM sometimes, bro. I'd be like, why is he picking up the ball from there? Why is he operating from there? Oh my God.
That's what Palmer was doing in this game. That's what Palmer's been doing.
Palmer was on a pivot today.
Yeah. Facts.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, when Caicedo came off, he went to the pivot. Yeah, you're right.
No, he didn't go to the pivot when Caicedo went off. It was Carney was in the pivot. It was fantastic.
I don't know, man. It was dreadful.
Ladies and gents.
No, we didn't have a pivot. We had a single DM. So it was Enzo by himself.
It's what
the whole problem we were trying to solve this summer. Oh, let's buy Enzo a partner. Oh yeah, let's just sub him off. Okay. Right.
Ladies and gents, before we continue on with the show, over 70 of you are watching. Let's get those likes up. Let's try to hit at least 40 likes, ladies and gents. I really do appreciate it. It does help out the channel tremendously. Ahmed, I want you to grab the spatula, fire up the grill, because it's time to cook Raheem Sterling. Do your thing, man.
Look at him
Do your
smile.
thing. Tell me about Raheem the Dream Sterling, Mr. Archback.
Yo.
Huh?
I'm just saying. I'm just stating facts.
Those are Marshall's comments. I just want to make sure let's get that straight first and foremost. Thank you very much. Now, listen, man. The issue of Sterling is the same issue that you have when you're playing dice. You know what I mean? You can. It's the same issue. Sorry, it's the same issue as you have when you're gambling. You know, when you gamble, of course, it's a matter of percentages, but those percentages can change on a whiff. But with Sterling, you know, it's really just two cards. I don't even have. They have my playing cards that I use. Yes, I do actually. It's the corner here. Driving one. You know what I'm saying?
You have to get your cards out.
Getting the playing cards on, man.
You're gonna play poker now. That's what it is.
Yeah, I play sometimes, but listen, you only have in front of you. There's two options.
Direct.
You have two options in front of you with Sterling. Either A, I'll use the black cloth for this one. Yeah, either A, he's going to.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, no. What it was black and red, didn't it? What do you mean by that? You got it. But
no, what do you mean by that?
Two colors.
What do you mean you use the black?
No, is this okay? So with this card,
you don't laugh, you cry.
He will always make the right decision, right? He always make the right decision with this one. That's the card that if you select the right card.
That's the Man City card from the game in October.
And then this is the red card. Yeah, this is the card. Yeah, that he selects every time at Chelsea, which is the card which is basically I'm always going to do something fluky. Can I ask you a question, guys? Have you ever asked yourself why does Sterling try to go outside of the when he's attacking someone, go outside and then feint back inside so that he can actually get into the box? Have you ever seen him do that?
trying to remember like any good performances in a while.
Like I said, only against Manchester City when he was skinning Carl Walker.
Never seen. All I ever see him he's always literally work inside, try to come inside into the box, and that's all he does. I've never seen him try to fake himself, go outside and then try to do that. Never seen him do it in any other game. He's so predictable. And then what makes it worse even though he's predictable, then his decision making is even more predictable. Is even more predictable. So it's even worse because that is unpredictable. I don't know if the striker's going to receive it in the box. I don't know if anyone's going to receive the box or if he's going to shoot it into the what's it called, the crowd. That's the problem.
I gotta say though, it's also players. It's like performances like today, and it's players like Raheem Sterling that remind me what exactly is experience supposed to do for us, because you're seeing the experience right there, and this is how he's playing. And mind you, again, I don't think I know Raheem Sterling is a frustrating player. He was exactly like this at Man City as well when I watched him then. But I know he's not this bad. I also know that Mudryk could be better. I know Enzo's could be better.
I don't know about Mudryk. That's the one I'll dispute. That one looks really, really sketchy.
Sure. And you could, and you know what? That's up for a debate for sure. 100%. Like that's not like 100%. I see where you're coming from with that. But like I see how these other players can play at their best, and I know what they're capable of. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So it goes back to like, what is this manager fucking doing to our players that they're playing like this? Like it's just it genuinely blows my mind. But what I did want to ask as well, do you guys also think that Sterling's performances are coming from a place of complacency now because Mudryk is just so bad that there's no way this guy's gonna lose his position?
To some extent, yeah.
Probably, yeah. You probably got it spot on, yeah.
Because there are times when I've seen Sterling come on off the bench and this guy looks electric, and it's like, oh, okay, you look inspired today. You look like you're trying to score a goal. You look like you're trying to prove a point. I mean, to be fair, beginning of the season, preseason, he was shit. He was absolute dog shit. And then beginning of the season, he starts to pick up. He performs. He starts to, play better, and he's scoring goals. He's getting assists and all this stuff. Ahmed was in the mud in a while, but then someone threw the rope, and Ahmed pulled himself out, and now this guy's winning the war like he said he was.
No.
What do you mean? That's exactly what happened.
You know what I said in the beginning?
Man was in the quicksand.
No, but Marshall, what did I tell you in the beginning of the season? That I was going to lose the battles, in the incoming battles. I would lose a few skirmishes, you know what I mean? I would be on my back, I would have my back to the wall, but eventually...
I was hoping, I wasn't sure what the back comment was coming from.
Yeah. Listen, man, my battle with Sterling could be very indicative, of almost like World War II. Well, saying,
whoa!
Yeah, like, no. What I mean by that is that Germany was kicking everyone's asses. And
so Hitler was? Yeah.
Germany and was kicking everyone's asses. And then the US
what do you mean by that? What do you
the
mean
US
by that?
Save the day. You know what I'm saying? The US and England decided to get the act up together and they save the day. You know what I'm saying to you? That's what just happened. But instead, Sterling's been doing everything like that.
Sterling's Hitler, and you're teaming up with. What are you trying to say here, Ahmed?
Chill out. No, but like what I'm trying to say at the end of the day was that I knew Sterling was consistent. I said that before anything happened, and we saw it last season, right? So I knew eventually there was going to come a point, where that inconsistency was going to turn into severe inconsistency, and we've seen it happen in real time. For me, his decision making, bro, is so bad, bro. Like I've never seen anything like it before, bro. Even Willian had better decision making than this guy. When I was watching Willian at Chelsea, I've never seen it.
He's just hit or miss, Sterling. He's hit or miss. and it's like when he's having a bad game, nothing's gonna. That's how it. Bro, when he's bad, and nothing's gonna change if it's a game by game. But when he's good, he's unstoppably good. Like I've seen him play extremely well. Like, he's not the kind of guy that plays poorly and can get a goal. Obviously, he can do it every once in a while, but that's not who he is. Like,
No, Joe. Sterling is, I would say we have a three-headed dragon. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, three-headed dragon problem. What's it called? Yeah, and here we go. It is Sterling, Gallagher, and Chilwell currently.
Jesus Christ, the English dragon.
Three-headed English. I was going to say, yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
but that's
Jesus.
I feel like in the if
Proper
you
Stella
like
drinking dragon,
the three main guys, the three main guys that are problems for us were those three, and then you can say Bade Shield was extremely bad too, but then you have the defensive three-headed dragon too, which is the Sarsi, what's it called?
Bade Shield.
Bade Shield and Silver. That was another three-headed dragon. You know what I'm saying? Which were the disaster classes all waiting to happen in the Liverpool game. So a lot of heads
huh?
of the
What
dragon.
the hell's going on at Chelsea? Is this Game of Thrones? Fuck.
Bro, but there's been but that's the problem, bro.
Yeah.
And what the irony is? All of those players, what are their ages? Sarsi, 25,
They're the
Thiago
older
Silva,
players.
13,
Well,
whatever.
not Bade Shield. Yeah.
Badi Chile, 23,
22? 23?
23. And then you got Chilwell, 27, if I'm not mistaken, or 20.
Why are you speaking Spanish, bro?
So 27
What's going
years old.
Spanish dragon?
This is what Chelsea's done to him, man. He's
How's
got World War
how's
II,
Castly
he's
Rock
getting
over here, bro?
He's got the Game of Thrones. He's speaking
Then the other
Spanish.
two, then you got Gallagher, 24, I think if I'm not mistaken, years old. Then who's the
Gallagher's 23, but but the thing is, like, Gallagher's 23, yes, but I'd argue he's an experienced player.
Yeah, he's experienced.
Like he's been starting for every team he's been at since 2019, 2020.
He didn't really start straight when he came to
yeah.
Chelsea, did he?
So
But
this
he
is
was starting for Palace.
Yeah, so as I said to you before,
I'm not denying that.
Gallagher 23, and then the final one, Raheem Sterling, 29 years old right now.
Yeah, Sterling ain't got too many years left in him. This might be one of his last years.
Do you think this is his
Should be the last.
Chelsea or no?
Well, pardon?
This is. I already said this should be his last season.
He is looking
And,
a lot.
there's
Is
been
it?
reports.
No, Ahmed, is it? Do you think it will be?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
I believe so actually.
Ahmed thought this
You know what the problem is, Ahmed? He's at home in London on 325 grand per week. Who's buying him?
Bro, listen,
Who's taking that?
there's another country that.
He's
will-
Well, he isn't going. Wow. Yeah.
No,
so-
yeah,
But Ahmed, hang on, Ahmed. Like I said, he's in London. He's at home with his. He's literally in his city with his
but
family.
4 million. A
He's
week,
chill.
Bro, you can give him.
How
more
many
money,
years
man.
do you have left on his
Money
deal?
helps. Money helps.
He has 3 years at the end of the season.
Yeah,
If he gets say he gets 1.5 million a week out of Saudi Arabia, he's going.
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of money per
If
week.
he really does just like living in London, then Saudi. But
Yeah,
then again, it is
what's
a lot of
London
money.
like for a couple of years at Saudi Arabia and then making that money and then going back home? What's that?
I mean, you say that, Chris, but look at how many players want to leave Saudi Arabia after just 6
No,
months.
I actually do.
You know?
Yeah,
With the money they're on, and they just couldn't hack the weather or
I've
whatever
seen a
it was.
few, I don't know what it is. I've seen Benzema even wanting to leave. And I've seen Henderson's already left, and I'm thinking,
He's at Ajax now.
He's at another club already. Thinking
He's joined Ajax, yeah.
He was at Saudi Arabia. What happened? I don't know, but yeah, money doesn't always talk. But I don't know. If I was there, I would say, you know what? I'd take the money for 2 years and just come back home.
Yeah.
I say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Guys, listen. You know what? You know what, Poch? Thank you. You cleared my mind. Because you know what, guys? At the end of the day,
You know what,
it's just.
Joe,
Wait, hold on. At the
we
end of the
should
game,
have
at the
given
end of
him.
the day,
We should have given him to Arsenal. Just
At
like
the
we
end of
sold
the day-
Havertz 65 million to him.
at the end of the day, guys, it's just one game, right? It's just one game.
Well,
One game.
Problem is, it's not
That's
one-
life.
It's life. No, guys. We need to move on. It's one game. Chris,
Who do we have next?
we need to move on. It's one game.
Wolves.
It's one game, Chris.
They go run for
Not just one game, though, is it?
No,
Can I just?
No,
we need to put this. We need to put this
We're down
guy's
to 10, it's
quotes
not one game.
on a T-shirt, and this needs to be the one in the front and center. We need to move on. It's one game.
Oh, well,
Wait,
good line.
Marshall. Let's say y'all win that Carabao Cup final. You need to move on. It's one game.
I was going to say, are people forgetting that we have a cup final coming up against these guys?
How can you say that to me,
I will
Steve?
say,
I just saw the game we performed. I have
don't know
no
if we're gonna win
confidence in winning that Carabao Cup.
No. I don't know if we're going to win
Oh,
that
I
game.
don't think you will win.
Well,
I don't think you will, but I'm
It's
just
going to be
saying.
completely different today, though.
Alright,
It's going to be
Poch.
completely different. It's going to be completely different today, though. I guarantee you, it's not going to be like a 4-1 or 5-1.
Yeah, it'll be competitive because it's the final. Yeah.
Like I think
It's going to be a 1 or a 2-0.
No, I
think
Be more
we're gonna lose
cagey.
8-1. Like, are you kidding me?
No.
We're gonna have
Hang on a
Mo
minute.
Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold back.
Let's be real. Hang on. Cup finals are generally more cagey than league games.
Unless it's Watford, Man City. That's the only one.
Exactly. That's the only one way where someone gets blown away.
Anything could happen in the final. I'm just saying.
Look, bro. Look at.
I know where you guys are coming from,
I've
but
seen Wigan beat Man City in FA Cup final. Anything can happen.
Look at the last 4 Champions League finals, whatever. They've all ended like 1-0. It's cup final.
No, every UCL final since 1993 has been competitive.
I get that, but there were proper managers managing those clubs.
Yeah.
With Poch, I don't know if I could confidently say that's even going to be
Let's sack him and
cagey.
get Jose. Let's get Jose.
Yes.
I mean, I'll take anyone at this point.
See?
I'll take anyone at this point.
Steve.
No, listen.
No, Chris. Your guy wants to go back to United. Hold that. He wants to go back to United. Hold that.
No. What do you mean hold that? Like,
Yes, he does. He does.
If Man United show interest, and we don't know how true those reports are, right? If Man United even show interest, of course he wants to go back to Man United anyway. Like, he doesn't even hate being at United. He actually likes United. But he also likes Chelsea. He's been to us at
but the first, when he went there the first time, we called him Judas. Now we're going to kiss his toes. Like, what are we doing?
No, I didn't call him Judas. I respect Jose. He's our best ever manager. I love Jose.
Fucking gigs, man.
But I'm not gonna call him a Judas.
Well,
Give me Jose.
I would have taken Jose at Newcastle.
Yeah, he knows he has the winning mentality.
But by the way, Mourinho does nothing to help us win a game like today. I just want to say that he does absolutely nothing.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, honestly, I may as well take it. We've had Potter. I'll take Jose. We may as well. I don't know who else is gonna come to this club and actually fix it. Because it's like, even we get the next manager and it's not Jose. Does this manager fix our problems? I don't know. It's like same with Jose. We don't know.
Well, it depends if the manager suits the squad or not. Like, Jose does not suit this squad, so
I honestly thought Poch might suit because we're a bunch of young players and all that. So it kind
yeah,
of
listen, man. Poch was false advertising, man. That guy is not the guy I thought. The guy I've got is not the guy I thought I was getting.
Well,
so.
Actually,
a lot of us thought that.
On Poch, and before I go on Poch, big up to Kevin for subscribing. Hey guys, subscribe if you're new to the channel. All right, it does help us out tremendously. We're on our way to 2.5K, trying to get to 3K. So help us get there by hitting that subscribe. 60% of you that do watch are not subscribed. So let's change that. Helps us out tremendously, and it gets the channel fed to you more directly. And if you haven't done so already, smash that like button. We're only 5 likes away from 40. Helps the channel out tremendously. That's the goal right now. 40 likes, 70 of you guys watching. Smash it up if you haven't done so already. It's free. But on the false advertising thing of Poch, I think the idea to get Poch was smart on paper. However, I think they overestimated Poch's ability to develop youth players. And I've said this before. I think Poch can develop players. I don't think he can develop a squad. And this is a squad of young people. Yeah, individuals. He could do that. Like, we've seen it with, like, okay, not to toot his horn too much either because he had a shit game today, but we've seen good performances out of Gallagher that we never thought we'd see. You know, There has been some improvement with Gallagher. Nani Madueke looks scintillating. I like him a lot of the season. And we see some improvement from, I'm struggling to find names here. Palmer, thank you. Palmer, who also looks good. But at the same time, there's a lot of the team that's missing. There's a whole squad that he's just got to try to develop, and I think his hands are full on that. And that I will give people who want to criticize the recruitment and the board. I'll give that to them. That yes, maybe we over relied on youth. Maybe that has partially to do with the fact that that's the only one of the best ways for us to make revenue in a stadium capacity of 4,000. That doesn't help us with revenue, but getting the youth is our way to reinvest into the
Marshall.
club and sell and make money. So maybe that's partially why, but at the same time, it's too much. Yeah, go ahead.
Marshall, but the issue is, bro, the experienced players, these guys, who are these experienced players we're asking for, boys?
Mm-hmm.
I keep on hearing this nonsense about who do you want?
But Ahmed, do you understand why? Do you understand where I'm coming from with the experienced players?
No. I hate that. That's the point that you and I have said before. By the way, I've said that the same point. You know that.
Because Ahmed, when you think about it, Ahmed, when you have wait, hold on, real quick, because I want to put this. I want to put this idea into your head. Pause. Is that when you have a manager like Poch that doesn't have a system and relies on individual brilliance, who's going to give you better individual brilliance, the experienced player or the inexperienced one?
Okay, but the problem is,
see where I'm going with that?
But the problem is, Marshall, everything you're saying can be true, but the problem is we didn't ask him to give us players that are making individuals. We asked him to develop players and build a system for them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We shouldn't be relying on individual brilliance week in, week out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ahmed, we agree with you.
Yeah,
I kind of hear I hear what Marshall's saying. He's saying basically we're in a shit circumstance. So how can, because this disease is here, how do we cope with it?
The other issue, you know what I'm saying?
But, how do you treat it?
That's fair enough, but then the issue I have here is twofold. The experienced players that we have currently are not helping us though. The ones that, even if you were to say let's let those guys pick up the slack, if that makes sense, while these guys are helping out, they're not even doing that, bro. They're playing worse than the young guys. And then the other part for me is also
true.
I hear all the time people say we need to bring experienced players. I'm like, okay, let's say, okay, who are these experienced players firstly? And then secondly, how much will it cost us to buy these players? Because if we're being honest, guys, the 1 billion that we've actually spent, like when you calculate it and you actually break down what we spent, a large majority of it has gone to actual young players they're trying to do, whether they be at Strasbourg or everything like that, right? The other sum, if you've been honest, has gone to 2 players that the fan base wanted. The fan base wanted Enzo. The fan base wanted Caicedo. Now, the other guys that you're going to talk about, so let's say if people say Osimhen, it looks like it's going to happen. So that's someone that the fan base wants, who's got experience.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just on the side. The left wing. The only person I've had people speak about is Leao. But we all know Leao's going to cost a ton of money.
That dream is over, man. I want him
when we... cost.
I don't think this season, I watch every Milan game. I watch almost every Milan game, bro. I don't think his performance is worth that price tag right now based off this season. I can't even lie, bro.
I agree.
The point I'm trying to make,
Pulisic's been better.
Yeah. The point I'm trying to make, guys, is that these guys are going to cost you, in this day and age, 100 plus. The guys that we are actually looking for the so-called experience. Now,
but then again, Ahmed, don't you think? Sorry to interrupt, but don't you think that these up-and-coming youngsters are going to be super expensive too? Like Lamine Yamal, how much do you think it would cost?
No, but that's why.
Emery at PSG or Kobe Mainu. How much are those players?
Oh yeah,
you got to hit that.
But that's the point. But that's the point.
That's
the point, Steve. The point for me is that you're not going to be able to get, these guys when they're this expensive, and even if they're like up and coming top class quality youngsters, they're going to be expensive too. So the club, I think the thing I like about what the club is doing now is that they're at least trying to poach these guys before they hit the 100 million mark. If that makes sense. We've seen it already what they've been trying to do, and that's and that is for me in the current market, which we know is so inflated. That's the best opportunity that you have, or you create your own players to do that. Basically, that's the only way you can do it. Really,
I guess what I'm trying to point out and expose really is that the reason that this team could benefit from experienced players isn't because it needs it. It's because Poch is too incompetent to do anything with what he has, so he needs to rely on these experienced players to do something for him and to lean on, really. But I also don't think it's an excuse, because I just remembered this, and I still have to do more research on it, but based on what I heard, and Steve, you could probably help me out on this, I think Juve is an example of a system that's actually working, where they're relying more on youth. They're changing their model. They're not buying experienced players anymore. They're not buying free agents anymore. They're relying more on youth. They're relying on some players that they have there, kind of like how Chelsea is, and now they're top of the league. But what's the difference? They have a competent, Say what you want about Allegri. I'm not a fan, but
they
he
have
has
a
system that
manager
works.
in Allegri that you know what you're getting, and when it works, it works. Like you know exactly a 3-5-2. Sometimes his selections are questionable, but like you know what you're getting with Allegri. You really do, and they've started to actually notice how Vlahovic has been on fire.
Yep.
If you're playing a Kenan Yildiz from the Juve Next Gen Academy, you're playing Andrea Cambiaso on the right. Weah has been getting more minutes. Kostic is the experience figure in there, maybe, but even he's been rotated a little bit out. So yeah, and then you're getting Miretti and all these a few other young, very, very talented players. You've got Matthias Sule, a very, very promising Argentine player on loan at Frosinone. And then there's another one too at Frosinone that they loaned there. But yeah, they're starting to really use that Juve Next Gen Academy as producing.
They're in first place in the Serie A right now. And think about it, like last season, Oh, okay. I thought they were in first.
It's Inter and sometimes they flip flop because one will play before the other.
So they're competing essentially. Is what I'm
yeah.
But like even then, like they went through a lot of fucking controversy last season, losing the players that they lost. Well, they lost. Wait, they lost Tonali, didn't they? Or was that no? Yeah, they lost Tonali.
That's Milan.
That was Milan. Yeah, that was okay. I'm mixing up teams here, but they had a lot of controversy with the points deduction.
They were just terrible.
So that's a big one.
Terrible.
Yeah, and they were horrible as well. So they make this huge change, huge overhaul, and they're kind of in a similar model, not the same, but a similar model as Chelsea. So I'm not hearing this idea that a team filled with youth players can't work. It can work. It's just if they're talented, it can work. But it's just that it's our manager, man.
Exactly. You know who they just bought today? Any of you guys remember that kid at Southampton, Alcaraz, Carlos Alcaraz? He just joined Juve. 21 years old, midfielder. That's gonna be a very good signing for them. You're right, and they are going down the youth route. They really are.
Yeah. So it's not like it can't
work.
They
bought in Thiago Jallo as well from Lille. Very good player. 23 years old, Portuguese. He's gonna be a great signing for them. Adds more squad depth. They're going down a bit of the youth route, and it's going just fine. But they have a manager that you might not rate, but he knows what he's doing. He does know what he's doing.
He has some tactical awareness and
defensively
prowess.
he can set up a team to not get beat. And they're getting Vlahovic more service, and he's getting more goals. I mean, Vlahovic has been in very insane form. He scored on Saturday against Empoli, had 2 against Lecce, had 2 against Sassuolo.
2 braces in 2 games in a row, right? Yeah. Or 2 consecutive games, yeah.
And he scored against Salernitana and assisted. He got an assist versus Roma, scored versus Frosinone, had 3 games where he didn't score, but scored against Inter, so he's in great form.
This is what makes me nervous too, that even if we get an Osimhen, if Poch is still here, we're not getting a tune out of Osimhen. I was going
to say, tell me what Osimhen was about today.
He wouldn't have done anything. He wouldn't have gotten a single chance. No service.
The only chance of him doing anything is maybe if he got the Mudryk chance that Gusto gave, but that's a big if he'd even be in that position as a striker as opposed to a left winger.
I did want to ask, guys, did Poch get the lineup wrong?
I understand starting not starting Gusto in that game because obviously Gusto come back from injury, same as Nkunku. You can't start him. The midfield he got right, maybe not start Gallagher, but I don't know for who else really. Is there
Carney.
But Carney's just come back from injury, right?
Carney's been playing. He's been back from injury for 3 weeks, I want to say now, and he's played in
3 weeks?
I think. Listen, I don't know if he's gotten the minutes yet because he's been getting petty minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he's been fit for long enough that he could have probably gone for at least 60 minutes.
But I will say he certainly looked fine.
But that's maybe the only one you could say is maybe Carney could have started today because let's face it, Gallagher was no use to the
Gusto left back. Choa.
No, but Gusto's come back from injury. We don't want to rush him. That's the only thing I understand. You don't want to rush Gusto because Gusto's too important to Chelsea, and I don't want him getting injured again. So
Hey, I got a dip.
Can't-
boys,
can't-
by the way. Good talking with you.
Later, Steve. Always a
That's-
pleasure, man.
that's the only
Guys,
one
make
I
sure you
can
check
say,
out his
Marshall.
channel, all right?
Yeah, see you later,
Check out.
Steve.
He's out.
That's the only
think-
one. It's kind of probably.
I think what I didn't like, I mean, I kind of expected Gallagher was going to start, and I was sort of hoping that maybe some of that sort of old Gallagher plays well in big games. I thought that would maybe rub off a bit in here.
I was hoping that Gallagher versus Arsenal or Gallagher versus Man City would turn
Yeah,
out because
but-
of just a high press, you know.
So
But,
when I saw the lineup, I was fine with those things, but
yeah,
what I wasn't happy about is the way we used Cole Palmer, and whether it be a 10 or a 9, because it wasn't really clear throughout the game. Like I couldn't tell whether Gallagher was playing false 9 and Palmer was playing 10, or vice versa, or Palmer playing striker. I don't know, but the problem I have is
Oliver-
Palmer is evidently our best player. Like on form, consistency, he's the one that will get us out of trouble in the attack. Cool, all good. Why are we moving him around? He should be the only guy in this team that has a set position, and we should build the team around that. It shouldn't be, oh, he's our best player, we want him in, so let's just throw him up front because that's where we need another guy on the right. Like I would have had him on the right today, and maybe have Broja up front.
well, yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what exactly
Again,
is
as
your
bad
confidence in Broja?
As bad as Broja is, he needs to leave the club. Granted, not this January because we had this game, and yes, Jackson is coming back as well, which is very good news. I hope he'll be ready for the Wolves game, but we do need a backup striker at the end of the day. So I was advocating in the last Casually Chelsea show that because at the time we didn't know Jackson was going to get eliminated with Senegal. I was saying, look, we've got 4 or 5 games left, assuming Senegal make the final. Let's just stick it out. We don't need to make any kind of panic loan or transfer, and just keep Broja. I would have played him today, because the one thing I hate as well, we have like Sterling and Palmer in the front line, and we're playing hoofball to them. How is that supposed to work? I know Broja's not got the upper body strength that you'd maybe expect of a guy of his build, but even still, at least you've got some height there to maybe at least challenge. So, yeah.
Prime, talk to me, man.
Pick up everyone. How you doing? Oliver,
Horrible.
Good, man.
Marshall, Ahmed, Scott
I'm
was on
doing
earlier.
absolutely terrible. I'm
Yeah, he was.
depressed again. We're back to good old Chelsea.
Speak on the game.
What can you say, hey?
I'm not. The thing is, right, I'm not
Every time
angry.
I lose.
I went out watching him, right? Watching in the pub.
Oh, you poor thing.
No.
At least you can join a good vibe, man, people. Actually, I don't know.
Mate, I mean, it depends if you're in a pub with Liverpool fans or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
No. What I go to, it's like about 45 or whatever minutes away from me. So I went out by myself, watched in the pub. I was listening actually to Lewis's watch along while I was watching the game. That was entertainment. But yeah, the game itself. This team does not This team is very weird for Poch, and it's actually similar to the Spurs team he had, where they kind of play or lose off momentum. I remember earlier in the season, the first game of the season, we played Liverpool, and that was 1-1, right? That was a draw.
Yes.
And remember they scored
There's 1-1.
first.
Oh no, 1-1. Yeah.
Remember they scored first, and they had that 20-minute spell where they were just killing us. And then particularly they were ripping Cole at left back, and then Salah scored that second goal, and that was called off for offside, or there was something wrong in the build-up or whatever. That was chalked off. I remember saying on Sarcasm City on their Q&A that if that goal had stood, the floodgates would have opened and we would have lost 3-4-0. And people kept telling me, no, what are you saying? You can't say that. Yada, yada, yada. This team, they play off. What's that, a ball? Okay.
What's this?
Oh.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Oh yeah.
Dodgers. I can't read that.
It's not clear, bro. It's blurry.
It's blurred.
Oh yeah, shake the ball.
I'm just trying to troll. Anyway, yeah, this team plays heavily off of momentum, and that's how it's being designed by Poch. I was listening earlier because I've been listening to this whole stream, or the most part of the stream, and I think was it Scott or Oliver was talking about like players keeping hold of the ball too long, like Palmer, for example, right? And
That was me.
yeah, sorry, it was you, Marshall. And I was thinking,
Let's have
well,
it right. I'm just kidding.
that's not really Palmer's fault, to be fair. That is lack of tactical instruction.
Yeah.
Palmer and Sterling came from Man City, where they were drilled. Every little detail was drilled. People criticize Pep for doing that, not having a lot of like freedom of expression, but it clearly works. If you drill things in and coach things into a player or into the team, they know exactly what to do in particular in every single situation. We don't have that in the team. That's why you see us play with a false nine, but yet we're playing long balls and crosses into the box. And Palmer's not. Palmer is meant to be our focal point, but he's dropped in too deep to collect the ball off the center back. We don't have our wingers can't be defenders 2v1 because our fullbacks don't overlap and give them width. The reason why our fullbacks don't overlap and give them width is because we either have Colwell, Badiashile, or the Sassy or Gilchrist playing at fullback, who are centre backs. Our midfielders, we start the game. Every game we start off in a 4-2-3-1, or at least that's how it's lined up on paper. But we end up playing a 4-1-4-1 because Caicedo is left on an island by himself. Gallagher is meant to be Caicedo's partner, by the way, not Enzo, because Enzo is apparently quote-unquote our 10. That's what Poch lines us up at. But Gallagher runs up the pitch and he ends up being beyond Palmer, who's our focal point, and Caicedo's left on his own. As much as the criticism people give to Sterling, right, and is very much valid, I don't mind. I would replace him in the summer. But the criticism towards Sterling, it's kind of the same thing towards Madueke. If those two as wingers, or whether it's Mudryk out there or Palmer, those two as wingers are faced in situations against defenders 2v1. They've got no help. You're not supposed to be doing that. The best wingers in the world are supposed to have a fullback isolated 1v1, beat them, and then their space. But we can't do that because we don't have fullbacks that stretch and overlap and give width. This guy at halftime brings on Gusto, and then he takes off Madueke. Gusto and Madueke would be a good link up on the right hand side because Gusto can overlap.
That's a really good point, actually.
Madueke can come inside. You've got Mudryk, you bring him on, fine. Mudryk has, as much as we don't rate Mudryk, he's bad, whatever. Mudryk has no left back. Mudryk keeps. Remember that passage of play where I think Chuameka beats a man or something, and he plays a ball into Nkuku, and Mudryk just runs in from the wing for no reason and messes up the play. Mudryk, he keeps drifting in, but you've got no fullback to overlap you. So where's the width on the left-hand side? Like, there's just no. This team is so void of instruction, of patterns, of style, and that's why when we played Middlesbrough and we won, was it 5-0 or 5-1? I did not want to give Poch credit. Surfer kept telling me, "Oh, you got to be consistent." Yeah. No, I'm every good game we have, and we all overpraise Poch. The next games we end up losing and looking bad. I'm sick of it. Like, and I know he's not going to get sacked now. Like, this is the big performance. Like I've been saying for like 2 months now. What will turn is we need a big game. We need a battering. We need a 6-0 to Man City, Bournemouth 4-0 in the space of a week type performance for fans to start turning. We lose to 3-1 against Arsenal when they've been in the relegation battle for 2 months, like what happened to Frank Lampard. We need that sort of a big performance to turn heads. Hopefully, this is the performance that's turning a lot of Chelsea fans' heads that this guy is just not good enough. And Cup final coming up in a month's time, or by the end of this month, listen, I want to win it. I never want to throw a cup competition. I always want, like, regardless of who's in charge, I want to win the final. I hate Poch, but I still want to win, obviously. But if we lose, I hope us losing means that he gets sacked. That'll be the only joy I'll take from losing them. I don't want us to lose the final and know that he's still in charge towards the end of the season. Like, this guy has to. I don't get how people can defend him. The only thing people can use to defend Poch is say that we need to give a project time. And the reason why that's a bullshit answer is, why do we have to back everything? Why didn't we give Sarri time, who was a proven manager, by the way?
Speak on it.
Sarri is no. So everything that people praise Poch for developing players and building teams, Sarri has been doing that for years. Why didn't we give Andres Villas-Boas time, who was meant to be the next the next Jose? People didn't give him time because he was getting rid of Lampard and Drogba and Terry, and you guys were crying like babies. Why didn't you give Tuchel time, who won us the Champions League? Why didn't you guys didn't give Frank time, by the way. I remember Chelsea fans in 2020, 2021 telling me that I don't care if we get relegated this season, I'm still going to defend Frank. We lose 3-1 at Arsenal and you guys are crying on YouTube channels saying that get him sacked. No.
Not me.
We have no reason to defend Pochettino. He's Spurs scum. I understand people saying
Jesus.
I understand people that defended Tuchel. I even understand people that defended Frank. We have no loyalty to Mauricio Pochettino. We have zero loyalty.
You know what the issue is? Oh my god.
Prime.
My apologies, but literally, your name is temporarily. Prime.
Trying to help Ahmed.
You know the issue is Prime, yeah. The excuse that you could have had for both Potter, the old Lampard regime, Tuchel to an extent, I'll say Tuchel, is that it's the players, because we knew these players weren't shit. You know what I mean? They were, and at least we could have at least backed it up with that reason. You know what I'm saying to you guys? But the thing of Pochettino is really the opposite. You can't say that about the players anymore. 99% of the players are gone. They're gone. You can't just keep on saying. We can't just keep on saying. You can't keep on seeing and hearing online. Oh, it's the kids' fault. It's the kids' fault. When we know the guys that are making mistakes are not the kids. They're not even making mistakes.
We got rid of all the players that we don't like or rate. Mount, Havertz, Aspie, everyone is gone. The only players that stayed that we couldn't get rid of is Gallagher and Chilwell. That's fine, because the rest of the squad that we have is, and Sterling, fine, whatever. But the rest of the players we have is more than good enough. This guy is forcing Colwell at left back. He's forcing Chilwell into the team when we have a left back that's more than good enough. Back in the summer, I remember saying to Chelsea fans that you guys are overrating Maatsen because of a championship loan spell. I don't know if he's really that good. You're overhyping him. However, the fact that we were still in October, November, and he hadn't got consistent game time. Let's see if he's not good enough. We don't know. Let's see. Play him. How is it that Maatsen's first start for us in the league was at right back, I think?
But Prime,
this guy played everywhere but his position. The fact that you're playing players out of position, you're not using players correctly.
It was right wing, by the way, Prime.
Oh, right.
It's
so. And the thing is, right? I don't even I'm not so anal about players being out of position. That's fine, but at least coach them properly. How Pep, Klopp, they play players out of position. I've seen Jose do it. I've seen Fergie do it. I've seen Wenger do it. That's fine, but let it be suited towards their attributes. I've seen Kurt Zuma playing in midfield and boss a game. I've seen Jordan Henderson and Fabinho play centre back and boss a game. Coach them. You're meant to be here to coach these young players. Final thing. Pochettino himself cannot be complaining about lack of experience when the only reason you are here is to develop these young players. And you were even offered experience back in the summer. Vlahovic is ripping up the Serie A this season. You were offered him near the end of the window. You said no.
You wanted Paulo Dybala, who's injury prone and wouldn't be playing for us. You were offered Vlahovic, you said no, and now you're still complaining about lack of experience. Like, get him gone. Listen, no, people might disagree with me on this, and this is only an option. And this probably wouldn't even happen, by the way, but like an option, like if you sack Poch now, because there's still time until the cup final, if you sack Poch now, I would give Jose a contract until the end of the season. Come in, win that final, and try and get us into European competition. That is only an option. You don't even have to go with that. There's other managers you can get, Flick or whatever. But at least Jose Mourinho, like, he's actually respected amongst the fans, so he would somewhat unite the fans, and he's respected amongst the players would also respect him. Regardless of what fans may think now of him being quote unquote finished, he's still respected amongst these young players, because these young players are roughly my age. I still respect Mourinho. Tuchel's never going to come back, but
Tuchel is flopping at Bayern.
Yeah, Jose was open to doing that. It's a short contract now until the season ends. Get top, win that cup final, push as high as you can into a European competition, even if it's Conference League, whatever. Get a European competition, and then the season ends. That's it. You're not the permanent manager.
You get European competition if you win the trophy, though, Prime. Anyway,
I know, but I want to. But I want to finish within like
top 8, but somewhere at least better than last season.
I wanted to say Jose would do that. Jose, this squad is not bad. Like,
I don't think it's that bad.
And as people can tell me Jose's finished, no one can gaslight me into thinking Jose's worse than Pochettino. Please, Jose's clear.
No, I don't think that. I don't think so either. But go ahead.
Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, that's all right, bro. But I wanted to say something, which is that he's just playing very tactically inept. The thing with like, if you want to play too well, you have to at least play some level of a back three, because he's just going to leave that space behind. His injuries have killed him. He can't come back fast enough to recover.
Oh man, I can't lie, man. Chilwell's just bad.
But the thing is, Oliver, I agree with you that he's shit. But I'm saying even if you're going to play him, the only way it works these days now is going to be back three, because he's not going to come back. He hasn't got that pace or whatever recovery pace to come back after he's lost the ball. You saw how long it took him to come back, right? And then the other thing for me with Poch is that he's not gonna get sacked, because they don't. Much like with Potter, they don't want to admit that they got it wrong, so they're gonna keep on doing it. But the issue you've got now, and I've said this previously to you, Marshall, 2 weeks. I said this to you last week. You're like, no, Poch's gonna not get sacked now. Is that Barca's looking for a manager? Liverpool's gonna be looking for a manager. Bayern probably are going to be looking for a manager now, because of the way Tuchel that stuff is going to look good. Yeah, United probably going to be looking for a new manager too. Yeah,
Liverpool.
I went to Liverpool.
Sorry.
So no, it's okay, bro. But like, look, there's a transfer merry-go-round that is essentially going to be happening very soon, and like you as a club have to realize, bro, either you kill him now and get your guy in before the other guys can come and scramble for them, or you wait until the end of the season where you're probably going to be dealing with scraps. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, let's face it. What manager really wants to come to Chelsea? Like, if
there will be a long list of managers that want it.
Like Liverpool, like they've had manage Liverpool. Man United probably they want to manage.
Okay, that's true, but that's true, Chris. But at the end of the day, only. I hear that, but at the end of the day, only one manager can manage Liverpool. Only one manager can manage Manchester United. So if you've got a list of 10 managers that want to manage Liverpool, only one of those guys is getting the job. So you've got 9 other guys left. And when it comes to, I think fans in general have a pretty incorrect view on how some of these managers actually think about jobs. They don't look at Chelsea and think, "Oh, that's a disaster." Managers have egos. They're going to go in there and think, "I'm going to be the guy that's going to turn this around, and I'm going to go and win a title."
Jose.
That's the mentality that they have, but fans don't really take that into consideration.
Exactly. That's why I was actually going to get at.
Why do you think Carlo Ancelotti went to Everton? and in instances like that, there are multiple of those throughout history. Why did Claudio Ranieri go to Leicester, etc.?
I mean, even recent example. Why did Erik ten Hag go to United after what Rangnick had to say about what was going on in the background?
Well, there wasn't.
After what Ronaldo said, after all these things,
and a lot of it is like what they say about the club, because that club is like run from the inside. But he was a manager of Ajax. It's a big step up going to Man United. That's a huge step up.
I get that, but Chris, even look at what happened to us under Roman. Think about why Pep and Klopp didn't want to come to Chelsea. We were successful, but they didn't want. Well, we were quote unquote successful, but they didn't want to deal with the sacking and hiring of managers.
Our transfers, like you look at our transfers under Conte as well, like
exactly. But that's why I'm saying to you, why wouldn't a manager want to come to Chelsea? You get given time despite bad results. You have an actual recruitment, right? You're actually being backed by the manager or by the owners. Like, you have time to build a project here, essentially, as long as you get the results. Which
there's only so many more players we're going to bring in this club, because we have bought a lot of players. Our midfield set for like next 5 to 8 years, I think. Anyway, our midfield set. Our defense is questionable still. We'll probably have to bring in a couple more, and a lot of attackers we brought in are probably set, like Cole Palmer and Cuckoo. And Mudrik's supposed to be our future star as well. Like some of these players are like here for the long run. So like, there's only like a few players you want to fill in, like like striker. I say keeper, but I think maybe our keeper is actually set. We only need, like, in terms of the starting 11, we only need 3 more players: a striker, a left winger, and a left back.
And plays Thiago Silva.
I mean, the thing with that is it depends on Wesley Fofana. But I guess if you're going to be pessimistic, then
you got disaster. You got
if we're going to be pessimistic on Fofana, which I don't blame you for, then maybe centre back too.
Yeah.
Just as a backup, because I don't think we need another start centre back there. But left back, we need a left back. That's the one.
Arthur today, man. Oof! Oh my god.
No, it's just chill.
That was
he just ain't got it no more. He just doesn't have it in him. His legs.
I'm sorry, man. I do not want to see another report on Twitter. Cucurella is getting sold, and it's not about Cucurella getting sold. I don't want to see another report where Chilwell isn't on that list as well, man. He is not a football player. He is shocking, man.
He used to be good for Chelsea. I really liked him, but since those injuries just came along, now he's...
Look at him today, man. Like losing the ball, and it's not even just losing the ball. It's like your mentality. Why are you diving in the box? Are you really that down bad that you have to dive? You have to dive in the box, and for that, what was it? For the second goal, when the right back crossed it in for Liverpool, he was hugging Diogo Jota and he rugby tackled him. What are you doing?
To be fair, Oliver, I will say I do think that was a penalty.
The Chilwell one.
Listen, like, yes, it's soft, and he dove a bit, but in today's day and age, if there is any contact in the box, the pen, it should have been.
Did he touch Chilwell? It didn't seem like he touched him to me.
He did get it's a penalty.
Like the Gallagher one and Cuckoo one was a way better case for a penalty shot.
Again, I know it's soft, but in today's day and age, it's a penalty.
I didn't even notice he touched him. I actually felt like he blatantly dived. Like
I will say with the Nkunku one, I didn't think that was a penalty, but at the same time, like then when you see what happened up the other end with Badiashile, on that aspect, that shouldn't have been a penalty either. So that's where you have to question the inconsistencies of the application of some of these rules.
I do have to say, going back on that Chilwell discussion, if I hadn't seen Van Dijk turn his season around like he did this season after coming back from the ACL last season, I would say I'm done with Chilwell. But I think, one, considering the manager we have and how a lot of players have, just dwindled in terms of form since his arrival, I would be willing to give Chilwell next season and then decide after that whether or not he should go or not.
No,
because I think with Chilwell, under Tuchel, we saw how he could be, and then he got the really bad injury last season and that season as well. So it could be something that it's going to take time for Chilwell to be at his best.
Marshall.
The thing is, you mentioned Van Dijk. That's the exception to the rule. That's not.
Marshall. Chilwell's never been a top fullback. He's never been an elite fullback.
But he's been better than what he is now.
Yeah, but being better than what he is now still is not good enough. I'm seeing the way Emerson is performing this season for West Ham. Chilwell's never been better than Emerson. The way Emerson is right now.
I don't know about that.
I've never
I don't know about that.
I've never seen that. Listen, I don't listen. This love fest people have for Chilwell.
Listen, no.
Hang on.
I'm not having a love fest for Chilwell, but I'm also not having this idea that Emerson's better than Chilwell. Are you kidding me?
Wait, Prime.
Maybe now, but prior to the injuries, he never was.
No, the way Emerson is performing right now for West Ham, Chilwell at his best has not been better.
Yeah, he's not lying, bro.
Wait, Prime. When you say fullback, are you discounting wingback, or is you including wingback?
To me, in this day and age, wingback and fullback is literally the same thing.
Okay.
Forward, so they're the same thing.
I have to disagree.
Listen,
I know Chilwell's always been defensively a liability.
This season, I'll be honest with you. I was saying this to you guys in Discord if you remember. Emerson looks really good, bro, this season at Everton, bro. He looks completely different to the guy I was seeing at Chelsea, bro.
He's one of the best fullbacks in the league this season, Emerson.
Honestly, bro, I'll be honest. He's been looking good. I'll be real. And this is not even me hating on what's it called on Chilwell, but like I think this season
we definitely sold Emerson, right? This time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We sold him to West Ham, yeah.
I'm not saying that we should. I'm not saying Emerson should come back and be our first choice. Emerson's still not good enough now. I'm just making the point of even Chilwell, quote unquote, at his best, is not better than West Ham's left back.
Like, I have to completely disagree with that. I feel like that's a lot of biases on Chilwell.
It's not biases on Chilwell. I don't rate Emerson either.
I don't know at his best if he's been better than what's it called Chilwell.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But what I mean though is this season though, Emerson is
If you said this season, I'll give you that, and I don't need to see Emerson to know that. I know Chilwell's just been that poor. But if we're talking the season before he got injured, where we were competing, Tuchel's first season, Chilwell was a really good left wing back and a left back. Maybe defensively,
defensively he was fine.
No. Defensively, he was okay. He wasn't the best.
No, Marshall. Think about what you're saying. Defensively, okay.
Wait, Prime.
No,
let me ask you something. Let's have you think about what you're saying. Yeah. At this day and age, what left back is actually good defensively and offensively? In the last 3 seasons, in the season we're talking about Chilwell at Chelsea, left back,
left back or what fullback?
You literally said left wing back and left back are the same to you. So let's keep it in that area.
Left back. Are you talking about just left back or like?
You're talking about any fullback, like right back.
Let's keep it just
I'm
left
talking
back.
about left back. Yeah, just left back.
Left back.
Left back or left wing back?
Theo Hernandez.
Yeah, he's okay defensively. He's definitely better going forward.
He's better than Chilwell defensively. Alfonso Davies is better than Chilwell defensively.
No, he's not. No. He can't defend. He can't defend.
Chilwell can defend. Can I talk, by the way?
Chilwell can defend better than Davies, but go on.
He cannot, but whatever. My point on all of this still stands. Like he's just an average fullback.
You're trying to say that the only thing Chilwell's good for is, or the only reason he was rated that season was because of his goal scoring ability. You can make the same argument for João Cancelo. You can make the same argument for Alfonso Davies. You can make the same argument for Theo Hernandez.
No. Because the people that remember that season, that a lot of the praise we were getting was from our fullbacks, both scoring and assisting.
Yeah, no, that's most of the best fullbacks in the world right now. Why is Trent rated? He's not rated because he's good defensively.
I don't rate Trent as a fullback.
I'll just say on the.
Guess what? The most of the world thinks he's one of the best right backs in the world, but not because of his defensive ability.
But okay, fine. If you want to use Trent as an example for Chilwell, Trent's all-round game. I think as a footballer, obviously he is phenomenal. Like no one can deny that he's phenomenal. His ball striking ability is phenomenal. But defensively, as a fullback, he's nowhere near good enough. Chilwell, even his best quote-unquote attributes, is still not good enough to have him like at a club like Chelsea.
Prime, that's the thing right there, right? Because
maybe
Chilwell's just not. Even Chilwell when he was good, like when we won the Champions League and stuff with Tuchel, I still wanted him gone. I never wanted him at Chelsea in the first place. Still wanted him gone.
Well, that's what I mean. This is kind of like you have a biases almost. But go ahead.
But it's not a bias. It's because I just know
you never wanted the player.
Yeah, because I know he's not good. He's not good enough. There's better.
He was good for Chelsea before the injuries. He wasn't like a bad left back for Chelsea.
No, but even his good for Chelsea, we still could have upgraded on him.
Well,
I mean,
yes,
I don't think he would have been satisfied with. No, obviously, I'm not saying he's the best in the world either. But based on what you're saying, based on what you're saying with what you don't like about him, I don't think the only thing that you would have gotten out of another left back like Theo Hernandez or Alphonso Davies or João Cancelo would have been better attacking out. No, but I'm just saying. I know you didn't. But if we're talking about the best left backs in the world, right? He's in that conversation, and
he's not in that
I would say. A lot of people disagree with you, but I would say that let me just land. Let me just land, Prime.
Chilwell's in the conversation for the best left backs in the world.
No, I'm saying João Cancelo is. No. I'm saying João Cancelo is in that conversation. But what I'm trying to tell you is that even if we had gotten any of those guys, the only thing that they would have improved on that Chilwell doesn't have or Chilwell has already would have been the attack. They would have been better attacking options than Chilwell. That's the only thing they would have improved on. They still would have been defensively. It still would have been defensive liability for us.
Not really, because Theo Hernandez can defend. There's also Alejandro Grimaldo, who everyone's praising him now at Bayern Leverkusen, but I've been speaking about this guy back in when did we buy Chilwell? In 2020. In summer of 2020, when we were looking at fullbacks.
I think Theo Hernandez's defensive ability is a little bit over exaggerated because we cooked them. That's not much of a. The bar is low there. You're just saying,
it's superior to Chilwell's.
Like, you mean superior to Chilwell's now, or like when Chilwell's before ACL?
I think you just really don't like Chilwell, so you're just gonna disregard his defensive ability.
Chilwell was still the best defensive unit in that 21 season. I know he's not the best defensively, but he wasn't bad. I remember him in that final. He was defensively really good that final.
Okay. I don't know. Listen, whatever. Like, you guys can do Chilwell defensively if you want. I would
listen. No, listen. I say this all the time. You guys would get sick of me saying this. I just like to be fair when it comes to criticism, and
I think I am fair.
I don't think you are. I
how
disagree.
Am I not being fair though? I just don't think. I think when he was at his best, I think he was good. Arguably, maybe you could say very good, but I would still have upgraded on him.
I don't disagree with you there, but I'm also not going to say that I'm also not going to say that Alphonso Davies or João Cancelo you didn't say João Cancelo, but you said I'm saying João Cancelo just because he is in that conversation for a left back option. That is an improvement from Chilwell. I wouldn't say these players, João Cancelo, Alphonso Davies, or Theo Hernandez, are that much better defensively. Like, if your criticism of Chilwell is his defensive ability,
Fonzie, Theo, and Grimaldo, yeah.
Like we cooked Theo Hernandez in Champions League.
No. We beat a poor AC Milan side who were riddled with injuries. Like, let's not say we cooked Theo Hernandez. But anyway, even if you want to say Davis is poor defensively, his recovery pace makes up for that. So he's able to actually get back in game. Chilwell doesn't have the recovery.
I just want to gauge where you stand on this, Prime. Do you think that Marcos Alonso was a better left back than Chilwell?
No, but I think the attributes people praise Chilwell.
It's not as biased as I thought.
I think the attributes people praise Chilwell in the scoring and assist in the in the attacking phase, scoring and assisting goals. Alonso's better at Chilwell at doing that. Yes. However, if we're talking about as a fullback or as whatever, then No, I wouldn't say necessarily better. But then again, the only major thing Alonso lacks is pace. Well, Alonso had pace. Like, I think we look at him as a better.
I don't. Just to clear things up, right? I don't disagree that we should be going into the market for a better left back. I think we do need to improve on the left back. I don't think Chilwell is the guy. I agree with you on that, Prime. I think there are better left backs out there that I'd much rather have. But what I will say is, this is just me speaking, I am willing to chalk up this season's performances from Chilwell to he needs a season to really recover from that ACL injury that he got last season or the season prior.
He's not going to get it though, because he keeps getting hamstring injuries.
But why though?
If that's the issue, because I've seen Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk this season after having horrible seasons. Everyone was saying Van Dijk is washed, Joe Gomez irrelevant, all this and that. Now this season they have stepped it up and improved. So listen, I'm not saying that it will happen. I am saying that it could happen. And because he's on a 7-year contract, he's not going to go anywhere.
Do you know? Oh, he's on a 7-year contract. Well,
isn't he? Yeah, isn't Chilwell on a 7-year or 5-year or something?
No, he's not. I think he signed a 5-year contract in 2020, and it got extended by 2 years last year. So that will be until 2027.
Okay, so he's going to be here for a while. But
we're talking about Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk. I'll use Virgil van Dijk as that example, and I'll also use what is this guy's? Yeah, Marshall's waffling, I know. But anyway, I think that's probably aimed at me. But yeah, use Virgil van Dijk, and I'll also even use Reece James as 2 examples for this. Do you know why we can say for Van Dijk and even for even Reece James, who I say that we should get rid of because of his injuries? Do you know why people would use for those 2 players and say that they are worth waiting for them to recover from the injuries and get through their bad phase of a few games or whatever, for them to get back to their best? It's because we've seen previous that they have performed and stayed at a world-class level. So it's worth Van Dijk having a bad season last season, and I agree, I think he was very bad last season. But it's worth him going through that for him to perform now, and we're seeing that he is slowly getting back to. He's never going to be at his very best, but he's slowly getting back to being a world-class centre back. Reece James, if he can get this surgery and recover and come back next season or even the season after, he will then, and there's no issues and no setbacks with injuries again, he will look like a world-class fullback. Ben Chilwell, next season or even the season after, I guarantee he will not look like a top-level fullback. He's never been one in the first place. So he's never even looked like a
Thank you for saying that, because that's kind of my point. That's I think where we disagree. What I saw of Chilwell under Tuchel's full season before he got injured the way he did is enough for me to say, okay, we could potentially get that goal scoring fullback, that attacking prowess fullback, if we give it time. If I don't see that Chilwell next season, then I wholeheartedly think he needs to go. And I'm still, regardless of even that, I am still willing, even though I do think Cucurella is a good left back that is just misunderstood at this club for whatever freaking reason. Pardon the noise in the background, people. I'm still willing to go in the market for another left back that is, a good left back, like a Malo Gusto-esque left back. I'm 100% still willing and to still give Chilwell competition, because the chances are Chilwell's going to stay here for regardless of whether you guys want to keep him or not. I don't think he's going anywhere, especially now that he's got the captaincy. But that's where we disagree. You don't rate the Chilwell that performed that season. I think there's a really good player there. Not low class, not top class.
I just don't rate into the same level. I just don't think that the
you
level
just don't rate him enough to wait to see if that can come back.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it when we can go out and get.
Well, listen, JP, I agree. I understand that it was a different system, that maybe the back 3 protected him, but also it could be that that's not the case. You know, I am willing to see what happens when he's actually fully fit, to see if this guy is actually decent enough to be in that position. That you know, I'm willing to experiment.
Okay, but Marshall, why do you the games we've seen of him this season? Why do you then think he's been poor? Because, for example, Reece James, whenever he comes back from injury, and I know the games aren't much until he gets injured again, but like when he comes back from injury, does he really have poor games? I think the Blackburn game he wasn't that good, but other than that, does he really have poor games?
With Chilwell, with Chilwell, we have seen just a few, not many. We have seen some games this season where he looks good, but one thing, the last game, what was the last game we had?
Middlesbrough. Before that,
I don't know if it was Middlesbrough. Did he even start against Middlesbrough?
He started against.
What was the one? What was the one he came on as a sub? I don't even remember.
Villa. Last game was Villa.
And I think he was decent in that Liverpool game, even though he played left wing and he missed chances, but he did help create some opportunities in there. So I think there is use for Chilwell. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's dead in the water. Like we should get rid of him. Like, I think he could be a good player. We just need to see. Like, I'm derailing. Let me come back here. To answer your question, the reason why I think he's been so poor this season, one, the tactics, and two, the main reason I'm saying is that injury he's gotten, it's been hard to recover from that one. And it's going to take time to fully see Chilwell at a level where he's competent enough. I'm not saying it's Van Dijk level and all this and that. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to compare the players. Obviously, we know Van Dijk, before the ACL injury he was world-class, solid defender. But it looked like he was going to shit last season, and then this season he's come back to that same level. I'm hoping that next season Chilwell comes back to the level that we saw him in under Tuchel. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but but that still hasn't really. He looks behind the step right now instead of the step, and he's never been ahead of the step. But whatever. Like, I just look at Chilwell and I watch him, and like, it looks like he just lacks a brain at times, making dumb decisions. That's not like, I don't think you can put that down to, I don't know, whatever. Like, it's, I don't know. Like, this conversation's probably going long enough. Like, I would just get right? Even he gets back to his best, Marshall, right? Fine. Let's say he gets back to his best. Is his best what level is that? Is that a world-class level? Is that a top-class level? What best is that?
I think it's I think it's a professional level.
Okay.
Listen,
does that
maybe
mean
whatever the level under top classes.
So very good, which is what I said.
Very good.
So we agree. Very good. We agree.
Well, no, we've always agreed that you could get a better left back, but I'm willing to wait to see what
that his best level was very good. We agree that.
Yeah. I would say we agree.
So what's this argument about? We agree.
There's no argument. I just don't think he's shit, and I'm willing to give him time. That's the thing.
No. I think he's
I'm what would chat, and I'm willing to give him time. That's the thing. You're not willing to give him time. I'm willing to give him time.
I don't think he's. Well, I just don't think he's worth that time. Reece James is, as much as I would sell him, I do believe he is worth that time if he can get past that injury or his consistent injuries. Chilwell is not a Reece James. He's not special.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see. We'll see, because again,
what is your
I did like what I saw from Chilwell.
What are your thoughts on Cucurella? Do you think he's better than Chilwell?
No? Defensively, he's a lot more sound than Chilwell. He just needs. He's very misunderstood in the Chelsea fan base, I think.
Go
ahead.
I think Prime, you mentioned overall game, and that was actually my biggest problem with Chilwell today. It wasn't even the fact that people want to talk about defensively. The reason we conceded that first goal was because he isn't good on the ball and he gave it away. And that's the difference you get with Cucurella. I think Cucurella's overall game in terms of like what he can provide you in any given situation, besides maybe going forward, but like him with a football at his feet, I think he can do more things than Chilwell can in most situations.
But I just think where Cucurella lacks is where Chilwell on a fit basis would exceed, which is just being able to do more in the attack. And Chilwell's just not capable. Or Cucurella's
when
not.
people say do more in the attack, right? Like, again, Chilwell's best attributes is like I think it's like Chilwell's best attributes is what is the same with Alonso. It's being able to like score goals and find pockets to like
for the most part, yeah.
But in terms of the other aspects of the attack of the game and the attack, Chilwell's not that good at. If you take away being able to score randomly, and
his crossing is overrated.
I look at Reece James. If I take away Reece James being able to score and assist, you can still tell me things he's good at in the attacking phase. Chilwell is not Reece James. So,
I get that.
Cucurella is better in the attacking phase than Chilwell. I'm sorry. He is.
That's right.
He is.
I disagree. I think Cucurella's gift is he's better in build-up as a defender.
I just think
do you not need build-up in the attacking phase?
They're both just different cheeks of the same ass, in my opinion.
Ahmed, I agree. I would upgrade on Cucurella as well. I like Cucurella, and I would upgrade on him as well. But I'm not doing Cucurella defensively like people want to do Chilwell defensively. I'm not talking about you, Marshall. I'm talking about this fan base. They will do Chilwell defensively.
No, I know. People are defending Chilwell's recent performances this season, which I don't agree with.
Like, I know Marshall's trying to have an actual discussion, which is like fine, that's cool. But like, there'll be people in his fan base that will actually defend him, and I'm like, why?
My motto, my head going into a lot of these conversations is always going to be to try to understand where a player's coming from or where a manager's coming from. That's why I always try to put myself in the shoes of whatever topic I'm discussing. And when it comes to the owners, I put myself in the shoes. Why are we doing this youth model? Why are we doing all this and that? I'm trying to understand it. And it frustrates me when I don't. But then when I do, then I have a discussion about it. And that's where I'm coming from with Chilwell. Why has Chilwell been so goddamn poor? This has been, this isn't the Chilwell that I was excited for and I was looking forward to seeing under Tuchel. And this is where I come with the idea of like, okay, maybe it's the ACL. I'm willing to give it time. Let's see what happens next season because I know this player can be good. I have seen good performances from this player. So it's the same thing I go with Enzo, the same thing I go with everyone. To me, a lot of it, is the ACL and stuff, but also I go back to Poch. A lot of it has to do with Poch. It has to be Poch. We've seen so many players deteriorate this season, and these players all can't be bad. They all can't be bad. I refuse to believe that Enzo is trash. I refuse to believe that Caicedo is trash. I refuse to believe that Sterling, despite how frustrating he is this bad as well. So it's just it all comes back down to Poch. It all comes back down to Poch, and it's like,
absolutely, yeah, that is one thing I will say. As much as I speak a lot, and I speak like even the bad players. As much as I will quote unquote hate on say a Chilwell or a Gallagher, etc. I say this about our team and our squad. It's not this bad, and they should be coached a lot better. There's we saw even with Tuchel, there's a lot you can get out of like a Chilwell if he's coached properly. You can get a lot out of. There's a reason Ange wants Gallagher. You can get something out of him if he's coached properly. If these players are coached properly, they would not be looking this bad. If they were trained properly, like why is Chilwell coming on and like not knowing what to do? That's part of why he's looking this bad. So again, this is me being fair and balanced, by the way. I can't blame them because I'm not going to blame everything per se on these players because I just look at them and they look lost. We're in February now, or the end of January. Actually, we're in February, February 1st. And these players look like we just assembled 11 players randomly on a football pitch. Just play a game. They don't look
what? I'm not going to lie. Going off of what you just said there, Prime, it's now February. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of hoping that maybe the players were starting to understand some type of system, some type of style of play, some type of like method to how to approach these games, and maybe there was some chemistry building or something. But this game, this Liverpool loss humbled that opinion. And now I'm back to where I started, where like Poch doesn't know what he's doing.
It's about the level of opposition at the end of the day, and even to an extent, the approach of the opposition. Like we saw Liverpool today, Liverpool wanted to press us and keep us in their own half, and that worked very well. Luton didn't. Luton, we were pretty good against Luton. We were 3-0 up until minute 75 when they started pressing us. Their approach changed, and we were a Petrovic save away from capitulation. So, you know.
By the way, I will say this. This is agenda. This same Luton that just beat Brighton 4-0, by the way. I'm just agenda. Just go on, Oliver.
No, I agree. Like people that want De Zerbi when he's had 3 wins in 16, and I'm not going to make fun of it because they're still above us, and that's not good enough from our end. We can't really chat, but this isn't the night and day upgrade that people think. But you know,
this is how bad this manager is making us look. That people are willing to accept, like people. He's making us look so bad that taking back Mourinho looks like a rational idea. Taking De Zerbi looks like a rational idea. He's making us look this bad that we're accepting other managers that are also like, and maybe you could say mediocre, just to get rid of Poch.
I definitely see that in a lot of people, but you know, to my point, as I was saying, like we've. In our last 2 games, we faced Villa in the Cup. We faced Liverpool tonight in the league. They're both proper teams because, like, I think I said it earlier in the stream. From December till now, we've not faced a single proper team. You know, your Prestons, your Sheffield Uniteds, your Lutons, etc. Your Middlesbroughs, and granted we had a bump in the road there, but we still got the job done at the end of the day. These are not proper teams. These are teams that should be routine wins. And even in some of those games, like I mentioned, the Luton game, we had some problems there. And we have not addressed any of those. We have not addressed any of those problems because there hasn't been a result in that run that has created any kind of urgency within Poch or his coaching staff. Or maybe we need to fix that. The results have papered over the cracks, and we come to games like Aston Villa and Liverpool where the quality of the opposition is higher and the approach is different, so that it's too much to paper over those cracks when you're facing a tougher challenge, and you get a 0-0 where we look toothless against Villa, and you get a thrashing today. It's as simple as.
Yeah, but I mean, surely you can understand where I was coming from earlier with like hoping that, I know it's opposition that isn't, you know, competitive, but I say competitive, it's opposition that you're supposed to beat, right? When we talk about the form in the recent 10 games or 9 games, but surely I would think that this is the time where you want to start getting those connections, where you want to start developing a style of play, something where you want to start understanding how to go about each game and where's your outlet? Who should I pass it to? Where are the connections? Where are these players going to be when I get the ball in this position right here? So on and so forth. And it looked sort of like it was kind of going in that direction. And again, we had this game, and this game was a sure reminder that nope, we're still relying on individual brilliance.
I mean, the thing is, I certainly hoped so. I certainly hoped that it was the beginning of something. But I always entered the match reviews of these games because, you know, we won a lot of games. So I entered most of them, you know, coming off a win with a cautious optimism. I never said I'm renouncing the fact that I'm Pochettino out. I needed to see it against. Yeah, me neither. I needed, and that's still the case, especially after tonight. But I needed to see it against. I needed to see it against a team that would mean that what we are seeing is significant enough, and we haven't seen it tonight. And we've got a run of games coming up, and you know, like I said earlier, people might forget this, but we have a cup final coming up
Oh my god!
You know, against this very same team. And granted, it might not be a 4-1 because cup finals are generally more cagey than league games, but it will still be a 2-0 easily when they have players like Salah and Trent back fit and ready.
I agree with you with the more cagey thing, but I just don't think Poch is going to set. Like, I know Prime got, really pressed about the whole, give him credit where it's due and, when it's not. But I'm starting to align more with what Prime is saying in the sense of, like, I think he tries to set up a tactic, and half the time, sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong. And it's really a toss of the coin, really. I think with the final, I don't think he's going to set us up in a way to be cagey. I think he's going to set us up in a way where it's just going to capitulate like it did today.
Thing is, we do have a tactic. Like we don't really have much of a defined style of play, but I can sort of see certain little things that we want to do. Like from build-up play, we want to build up short with a lone pivot. That's quite obvious. We play down the wings. We want to cross the ball in. I can see that, but the problem is it doesn't work, and the problem is the personnel that he uses in that situation. Like if you want to play down the wing, that's fine. Teams have done that. Teams do that, and it can work. But you're playing with wingers that can't beat their man. You're putting strikers in the box that aren't good in the air. So what hope do you actually have? And you have number 10s that can't link the play. So
you're playing a fault. Like you want to play crosses in the box, which is fine. But then you're playing Palmer up top or Gallagher, who neither of them are strikers, so they're both going to operate as false nines and drop into midfield, meaning there's a space left up top, and no one's going to drop in, or none of the wingers are going to fill in that space.
It's exactly that.
And then when we play with Broha up top, we don't put in crosses into it. Like people can hate on Broha all they want. We don't put crosses into him nearly as much as we should.
That's exactly it. Like things, we do have tactics, but the tactics are not fit for purpose when you take into account the personnel that we're using in any given moment. And the problem with Poch as well is that part of the tactics is the game management. Like we can start a game with a tactic, but when it's clear that adjustment is needed, it either doesn't happen or it happens too late.
Let me ask you guys something, because I just thought of this question. Do you guys think that the success of our season going forward is going to solely rely on Nkunku now?
Well, we already knew this before, bro. Remember the joke I made?
Well, yes, I remember the Nkunku Christ. Yes, I know.
No. There's another one.
Oh.
What's the other one?
How many Nkunkus does it take to screw a light bulb on?
You're bust.
Well, yeah, but you. I believe, was it you or I don't know who it was, but I believe someone on this panel disagreed about Nkunku making any difference in this team.
Oh, it was me.
I did too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're still bad.
We are still bad, but it's like relying on Nkunku's individual brilliance.
Nkunku came on, right, and it's great. He scored brilliant, from Chumeka as well. But ultimately, he then got fouled, and whether or not you can say that's a penalty, but he was on the ground.
Should have been.
And I was looking at him thinking, "Oh no, he's injured again." Yeah. So, if he gets injured again, all of a sudden, what are we going to say? Oh, our season's over, and Nkunku's injured, and it's okay if we're bad. No, I'm Chelsea for the last 7 seasons. 8 seasons has been one player FC. For the past couple of years, last year was Havertz FC. Oh, it's just Havertz when he's on form will look good. The 2 seasons before that, it was Mason Mount FC, Reece James FC. Oh, Reece James, remember that season you were talking about, Marshall, after we won the Champions League, the Chilwell.
Yeah.
We look brilliant with Reece James and Chilwell. Those two get injured. All of a sudden, we're out of the title race. Oh, if Chilwell and James didn't get injured, we would have won the league. Ooh. Before that, it was what's his name? It was Hazard FC when he was here.
Well, you can maybe say Pulisic for the Lampard first season. Maybe.
Yeah, Casually FC as well. I'm sick of being reliant solely on one player as an excuse of why we're bad. Like, can we not have a team?
I think, well, I agree with what you're saying, right? I think the example you just said with the Reece James and Chilwell, I think that's not really on Reece James and Chilwell, more so the just lack of depth in those positions. I think that's mostly where issues came from.
But that's the point, though. Like, why is it that a player gets injured and all of a sudden the team's just not good?
It's not like we lack depth in the position for Nkunku, though. I think it's just Nkunku is such a good player that maybe he ignores what Poch tells him, and he actually does.
I'm using the excuse part. Why are we saying this player is injured and all of a sudden we don't look good? Because you're right, Marshall. We have other players that can come in. We have depth. So why is Nkunku still being used as an excuse? We're not bad because of Nkunku. We're bad because of Poch.
No, I get that. But it's where I go back to what I was saying before with Poch. I think the reason Poch wants experienced players is because his tactics are, I don't think he knows this, but I think his tactics are just so bad that these experienced players are the ones constantly going to bail him out. And I think Nkunku is going to be bailing out Poch this season a lot.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will. And this isn't to say that Nkunku won't score goals and that he won't be good when he does play. But let's take today. He could have scored. Let's say he started today. He scored a hat-trick. He can't stop Ben Chilwell giving the ball away for the first goal. He can't stop Silva and Badiashile for being absolute clowns during every defensive phase.
I understand.
We'll still lose 4-3, so the result is no different.
What I'm trying to say, though, before Ahmed goes, what I'm trying to say is, though, I think Nkunku is such a good player that his presence on that pitch and his ability is going to help boost and improve everyone else's. I think he's going to be creating more chances for everyone else. I think he's going to be creating chances for himself for scoring goals, which is, we need someone like that in the attack, despite the tactics.
I think it depends, though. Like, if we see what we've been, Nkunku's made 3 appearances, I believe, in his Chelsea career. I believe 3 or 4. He's played at least half of those appearances as a number 9. So, I don't know. Are we expecting him to create chances from the 9 position, or are we saying no? We expect him to play number 10. Like, I think these things.
If he were to play number 10,
these things matter. If he plays in the 9, we see it with Cole Palmer, because Cole Palmer is an inherently creative player. When he plays in the number 9, his influence is limited. Besides when he gets on the end of a chance.
Yeah,
so I think the same. I imagine the same thing.
So,
okay. Sorry.
So, listen, man. We need to just come to the realization: Nkunku's not going to save anyone. Chukwuemeka's not going to save anyone. Sterling's not going to save us. No one's going to save us, bro. And I've just come to the conclusion: 10th place is what's going to happen now. So just enjoy it, man. And we're not.
Oh, god damn it! We're back in 10th place, aren't we?
No, yeah, we're still in 10th place. Sorry, man. Nothing's changing.
We were back in 10th place before this game.
Yeah, before this, and we're still there. We love 10th. You know what I mean? Being 10th is it must be a sexual thing, man. You know what I mean? We must love it.
What?
Turns us on.
Huh? What the fuck?
Bro, you sound like some Minerals tinfoil hat right there, man.
Oh, man. Ladies and gents, I'm tired. I'm tired, man. I wanna be able to come on here and talk about some good football, but this man's a terrorist, bro. This man has come here and ruined Chelsea. I can't believe it.
Can I talk about the referee and VAR?
Actually, yeah, sure. Go for it. Actually, you really talk much about it.
I've known you long enough. Have you ever heard me outrightly talk about refs in games or criticize refs in games? Because I always say let's focus on the game and our team should be good enough to win games or whatever, right? The ref today, I think it was awful. I think there was 2 clear penalty shouts that we should have had. Not saying that was the reason why we didn't win, but those could have been momentum shifts for us. referees and VAR, the use of VAR in this country is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. And it's embarrassing because I've been watching, AFCON, and I don't know if you guys have. I'm assuming you guys haven't been. And the use of VAR and referees in general at AFCON has been spot on. There's been no problems, no incidents. Actually, the only problem was the Ivory Coast Senegal game where Mendy, in the dying embers of the second half, fouled Pepe. There was a penalty, and the referee accidentally booked Pepe, or at least that's what it looked like on TV. And I was confused about why Pepe got booked. But it turns out, when you saw the replay, that it was Kouame who actually got booked for a sent back at the referee. And the English media blasted it up and made a huge article. I think it was a Daily Mail or whatever made it an article about that. Look at AFCON, the refereeing and stuff like that. But if you actually watch the game back, the referee made the wrong call for booking a player. He checked it back. He booked the correct player, and they gave a penalty. If that was in England, which we've seen it happen so many times in the Premier League, how we've seen the wrong player get booked, or the wrong decision get given, or not even a decision get looked at VAR. How can this be the best league in the world, the much watched league in the world, the biggest, they've got the biggest money, or the most money in the world in terms of the league, and yet you still have things like this continuously happening? You can't ref your games.
Do you remember when Caicedo won the ball when he got booked?
Absolutely awful. Absolutely. Yes. I don't usually talk about these things. That continuously got me angry because whatever, man. Sorry.
I think one of the worst ones I've seen is when Colwill got headshot by the ball and they tried to give a handball for a penalty and his hands weren't even anywhere near his face.
Yeah.
If you guys remember that was horrendous.
Yeah, that was stupid. I think I avoided just talking about the refs in general. I agree. I think the refereeing was horrible today. I think I just avoided talking about it today just because I didn't want to sound like I was making excuses for why we didn't win. Because regardless of that, like we still would have lost even if those decisions went our way. Yeah, you can make the argument of, oh, maybe momentum would have went our direction, all this and that, like Poch. But I think we were so tactically inept in that game that even with those penalties going our way, I think we would have just lost.
I think particularly for that
Darwin
first
Núñez
penalty,
was a better finisher, we would have lost a lot more.
Yes, if spots and maybes, but like at the same time, like people want to blame it on penalties, like or the lack of penalties. Like at the same time, if we had a more technically proficient player than Gallagher for that first situation where he's the only reason he got near Van Dijk in the first place was because he took a bad touch and he was chasing it. If we had a technically proficient player in that position, that they get their touch off correctly, they can probably have a shot and actually score from the edge of the box. And there's no need to talk about penalties. So who knows?
I mean, the only reason I brought it up it's just like I don't know. I just wanted to praise AFCON.
Oh no, it's definitely a talking point for this game in particular, and yeah, AFCON deserves praise, as you say. Yeah.
Speaking of league, but our league.
Speaking of AFCON, by the way, sorry. Cheeky little plug. Saturday, 5 p.m. We will be streaming on Sarcasm City TV. It will be Nigeria versus Angola. Fuck, forgot. Yeah, Friday. Sorry, 5 p.m. Nigeria versus Angola. Let's see if we can beat them, and we can go through to the semi-final. Yeah. My bad. Sorry.
Ahmed, you right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, bro, it doesn't matter, bro, what about the refereeing at all, bro, because I don't care. Even if we get those 2 penalties, it's not gonna change anything, bro. I'll be real. Nothing changes, man. We were getting our ass whooped, fam. We were getting humiliated. We were getting destroyed. Simple as that, man. There's no other way to put it. And like, the reality is, bro, this is gonna probably be the same thing that happens out in Billy. You know what I mean? So just gear up for it, man.
Badly, JC.
Now, with the refereeing thing, I'm going to talk about Liverpool in particular here. Get used to it, man. When it comes to Liverpool, get used to it, man. They are on the Klopp leaving narrative. They're filming a documentary right now. Everyone on Twitter is roasting them about saying, "Oh, the Pep Klopp era doesn't exist because it's only 1 league title to 5." Bro, trust me, man. There is going to be an underlying agenda to get this guy another league title. I promise you.
Oliver, did you see the Darwin Nunez penalty where he turned around and looked at the Liverpool fans?
He didn't even look at the penalty.
He's doing that for the documentary, and then at halftime, the guy's running down the tunnel. He's running down the tunnel as if Liverpool are 3-0 down. Like, what are you doing?
Ladies and gents, I think we've beaten this horse to death now. Chelsea stink. Pochettino stinks. He needs to leave at the end of the season or whenever. He cannot have another season. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if he wins the Carabao, if he
can't have the cup
gets. No, I just don't. No, I mean, it's gonna happen. That's the thing. He's gonna stay. They're gonna look at the results. Oh, this is just another, like you said earlier, it's just another bump in the road. This is what this is for the owners. And I hate to say it, it sucks, but it's just what they're going to do. It's saving face, because if they damn if he gets sacked, damn if they don't. It's lose-lose for the owners.
Oh yeah, just one more thing today. I saw today that Santos is going on loan to Strasbourg, and meanwhile Cassidy is making his debut when, player A is better than player B.
Bro, I don't know what Cassidy cook, man. Let Cassidy cook.
I don't know, man.
I'm tired of your Cassidy agenda, Oliver. You never know. He might.
Bro, Santos was wanted by Porto. They were in the Champions League,
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. Like, we have a shit. That's another thing. We have a shit. What do you want to call it? Person that is assigning these loans.
Neil Bath. Yeah,
Neil Bath is shit.
Can't go out alone anymore.
First of all, Leicester City didn't want to get rid of Cassidy.
No, I know.
We just recalled him.
Because he's played now. Is he not tied? He can't go out alone.
I think.
Now that he's played for us, yes, he would be tied, because in the last year he would have played for Reading, Leicester, and us. So he's tied.
Yeah.
Same thing with Moreira, by the way. Moreira is tied with based on Benfica, Lyon, and us.
Listen, Cassidy's gonna cook. I hope. Actually, under this manager, no one's gonna cook anymore. So we'll see, man. But I'm so. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Shit, man. Shit. You ain't
Nobody's
doing nothing,
anything.
man. You ain't doing nada. Let's move on, broski, man.
Dude, we had a double pivot of Cassidy and Carney Chukwuemeka at one point in the game today. Just deep that for a minute. Just deep it. It's dead, boys. It's done. This season is dead in the water. It's vibes. From here going on, it's just vibes.
I'm surprised Gilchrist didn't come on, because he has this record of not losing a game for Chelsea.
The streak continues.
True.
With this Santos thing, I might actually go on loan to Strasbourg. I might.
You're gonna go on loan on Strasbourg,
bro. Angelo and Santos balling out. Sign me up.
Nah, I'm going on. I'm not going on to Man City.
Bro, Angelo and Santos gonna cook at Strasbourg. I'm all for it.
We don't care. We don't care, bro.
You care. We might do some Strasbourg watch-alongs on here. Who knows?
Hey, he's too busy with Rennes, right?
My team winning, man. We got AC Milan in 2 weeks, man. Listen, hey, we in big competitions, man. Big competitions, man.
I hope Strasbourg cook you, bro.
No. Listen. Wait, Ahmed, what's your team? What's your team? Rennes, isn't it? We got AC Milan in the Europa League. Why is Rennes your team? They bring out the best up-and-coming top players.
Ryan, get the hell out of here, bro.
That's what it is, bro.
Ryan, I'm sorry. Ryan, get out of here, bro.
Ryan, bro, why are you doing this rubbish, bro? You know he didn't do that, by the way. You know what's crazy, Ryan? You're not going to win the league again. So why are you crying? Not only this, you know what I'm saying? It's all hilarious to me, man. Guys,
Ryan, stop coping, man. Stop pretending like you didn't want Moises Caicedo. You would take Moises Caicedo right now in a heartbeat because you know your manager is competent enough to get the best out of him.
Ryan has spent the last
Cap.
3 days crying about Jurgen Klopp leaving, so it's fine if he wants to make a joke because Liverpool won this game. He can make a joke. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, listen. If my goat could never bowl 3 title races in an era, but it's fine. Listen, it's fine. How can you have an era but only have 1 league title to show? It's embarrassing, but whatever. It's fine.
Anyways, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just wrap it up. I'm tired of talking about Chelsea. I want to just do something else. Maybe watch the boys play pro clubs in the Discord, in the Casually Discord if you haven't joined us already. Maybe go watch some TV. Maybe I want to go outside and rake some leaves. I don't know. I want to do anything but watch Chelsea now.
Wow. So you're not gonna reply to the comment I made. Interesting.
What'd you just say?
So they got a lot of tissues behind you. So
yeah, I might do something with those tissues. I'd rather do that than talk any more about Chelsea. I'm gonna use this whole entire box up, bro. It's gonna be all gone. Every single bit of it.
You might not be allowed after that, big man. I'll just let you know.
My hand's gonna turn red. Like I'm
Hey,
saying,
yo.
man. Like we just. I'd rather do that.
I didn't need to know that.
Listen.
You know what I mean? Chill out.
Listen, then don't ask these questions, or don't say these
Wait,
statements.
your hand turning red? I think you're doing it wrong.
Yes. Yes, I am. Very much so. Anyways, we're gone here. Ladies and gents, smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we go live. Check out the links in the description to the Discord and all that fun stuff. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything. And big up to all our members. Be sure to join up the membership. 4 different tiers starting at 99p. We are going to raid, by the way. So we're going to raid Sarcasm City. Big up to them. I might be on there in a minute, actually. I don't know. We'll see what Flawless feels like, how deep in the stream they are. Yeah, it's the multi-show. But yeah, so go over there, copy and paste that rated message. Let Flawless know where you're coming from as usual. Much love to him and the panel over there. I think we're in the servers there right now. And as always, if you are a proper casual and higher tier member, you get shout outs at the end of every show. And that's going to go out to OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Adrian, Will, A. Solomon, and Hassan Nawaz. Thank you guys so much for your support. That being said, ladies and gents, we'll see you when we see you. I'm not sure. Oh, Friday. Whoever did predictions with us in the beginning of the season, we're going to come back and we're going to shame you. And I'm going to shame myself because we're going to look back at our predictions. We're going to laugh at ourselves and see who had it right. But now that we had a transfer window, we're going to remake predictions and see what we're going to, who predicts what to the end of the rest of the season. So
what time Friday?
Wait, what?
You said we're gonna do it on Friday, right?
Friday, but I don't know if Prime you were in the original one. I'll go back and check. But yeah,
I know I wasn't.
But I'll be here for the new one, the new prediction.
Yeah.
I just want to know what time.
Same time as usual, 10.
Okay,
but yeah, be there. All right. That being said, peace out, guys. Stay casual. Good night.
Watch out.